Let's go, bub. Rookie. Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut!
Okay.
You can go investigate. We'll take Jerome and Gail with us. So if something does jump out in front of us, we can sacrifice them.
Okay. That's the way to start a game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aha! You didn't catch me. I had muted myself.
Yeah, Jerome didn't even hear that.
Outside of the fact of being a sacrificial lamb.
Oh, he did hear that.
Told you.
My character's gonna die tonight. Sacrifice
I'm
me.
smarter than
Stone
the
is
average bear.
gone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Nice knowing
welcome.
all you.
We are back. They were quivering with abject fear last game until they threw rats. Which was fantastic. If George does, I want George to have the first opportunity, or Brittany, if you guys want to do that as like fan art, like just that tight spiral, of a.
I think George needs to take that one.
Yeah, and just the whoosh, like do it in like 3 frames, and then the target gets hit with it, looks at it, and just laughs.
you got to have the target's expression.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but
That sounds right up George's
I think
alley.
that was our best scene ever.
yeah, that was a
most
good one. That
epic.
was definitely a good one. I had a lot of fun. But so we've obviously got some new stuff in store for this game, for the Legacy. Some interesting spins on stuff that's going to take place. But since it's very customary, why doesn't somebody give us a recap from what happened last game and kind of get us back up to speed and see where we're at? Anybody want to take a stab at that?
I
No.
can. I'll go ahead. Let's see here. So, beginning of last game, we went ahead and got ready to go to the get together, the party and whatnot that Donovan McLaren was setting up because of Quantum Unlimited's success with the recent technology. So we got ourselves all gussied up, and then went over, met some of the bigwigs there. Donovan was there. The main thing that went down, though, that's kind of put us in a tizzy.
We found out Angler has no moves.
Yeah. Speaking of, being in a spiral here. So yeah, unfortunately, we met with Henry Voss with Health Systems Incorporated and Hannah Abrams, and Hannah is a member of the SHIELD group, the Guardians, and they're a part of the United Nations because they're the superhero group there. Well, Freddie brought up Argentina with Miss Abrams, and that went rapidly down a conversational rabbit hole. Unfortunately, ended up revealing that he's the Angler, and that the Legacy technically was there when President Albrecht dealt with the Argentinian conflict, and we kind of helped out. So then this ultimately it led to Mark needing to try to do some damage control. He had to talk to Donovan and Abrams And so then ultimately, Donovan now knows about Angler and Lightbringer because of her relationship to Jurgen, of course.
He doesn't know specifically who the relation is.
Right. Yeah. He just knows,
He
like,
just knows
you know,
that one
And-
of the company.
right.
And what's her name? Thinks that Legacy is tied with the Nazis.
Right, like, yeah, via New Prussia, essentially, because they look
Yeah.
upon him, President Albrecht, as effectively a Nazi sympathizer. He never paid for his war crimes from World War II. Yeah, so that's going on. And because of that, there's going to be a United Nations like overview at Quantum Unlimited within the next few days to make sure that everything's on the up and up, and we're not sympathizing with New Prussia or anything like that. But in the meantime, there were other individuals there, like people from Shadestone, who Carmen had been dealing with before in her past. They apparently, possibly, had Carmen's mother killed, but we haven't gotten any additional clues as far as that goes. And then we found out that the med scanner and the T drive have been merged into a new med scanner version 2, which has awesome benefits. Seems like it's going to propel the company forward. Big news there. And then after all the hullabaloo, we left. There you go.
All right. Big on the
Angler got
hullabaloo.
way too drunk.
Mhm.
Way too drunk.
And Carmen got a little petty.
That's true.
Oh, and someone has a reroll.
So you're giving that to Abby. All righty. So Abby, make sure you mark down
You
that
don't
got
know
a
if
free
she's a
reroll.
bad guy.
This is true.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Good point.
Guys, I couldn't play a bad guy even if I tried.
That's what we thought about Brittany, and she almost killed 3 of us in Cyberpunk. Yes, yes, it is very
while
possible.
taunting you guys.
Yes,
That was fun.
I think.
That was how
think
me and
that's-
Derek met.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, she tried to kill me.
Oh, nice.
I mean, because
Fun.
nothing says let's start a valued friendship like. Yeah.
I think we've grown though. I visited your house and you didn't even spike my hamburgers.
It's a slow acting poison.
It's been 6 months. I think I'm probably
Brittany is nearing the stage of Ernie of developing a mild rash.
Right.
Yeah. Extremely
slower than those spores from last night.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Only is it April Fool's, but we get experience
XP.
points.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
good point.
Booyah.
Very good point. We do. Who would like to roll for? Well, first of all, we don't have any birthdays this month, do we?
Not for me.
I didn't
Yes,
think
we
so.
do. All of us.
Yes, it's karma. So, who would like to roll for it?
I'll roll.
Okay.
I don't have my dice out. Yeah, go ahead,
There you
Abby.
Abby,
Roll
have at
high.
it. Oh,
Except for Abby doesn't know what to roll.
we actually use our dice bot in Discord.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I have that pulled
So
up.
you can actually, if you want, you know what? Yeah, I
are in there.
I added you to that chat.
Yeah.
If you go
she's
into
in
the
there.
Supers
I'm in
chat
there.
and you do the standard roll bot like you would normally do,
Yeah.
you can just put 1D100.
We actually have a supers roll room.
Or no,
Yeah,
we do
I'm
it,
in there.
or do we do it 1D10? That's what we do, yeah.
It's 1d10 exactly.
And
So we
it's
multiply
it's
that.
multiplied by 50.
Yeah, exactly.
How do I do that? Sorry.
Oh, it's explanation point roll. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no. If you're
Oh.
if you're just rolling. Oh, well, actually, yeah. I guess that would work. You can just do that for anything because it'll still give you the number.
Does that work?
No. Gave it 58. We have 58 karma points. Woo!
58 times 50.
No, we
50.
need a 1d10.
That's
Okay.
true.
I don't know. Shh, tell me how to do that.
It should be
Slash R space.
Yeah, /R space and then 1d10.
Slash
There you go.
R. Okay. Six.
Okay, so
Yay.
6 times 50.
300. Okay.
300.
So that means we now have 570 karma available in the group. Right now, Derek is the one whose turn it is in the improvement cycle.
So 6 times 50 is what, 300?
300, yeah.
300.
And we had, and we had
Abby, you
270
start
before.
off with 300 karma.
Oh, I didn't know I was getting karma since this is.
Yes, you're getting
So we
karma.
get. So we
Okay.
have. So our personal karma. How much are we getting?
You don't get personal karma. You guys are in a karma pool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Okay.
Abby is not in said karma pool.
Right.
Did
Yeah, she's not
did
part
we
of the group yet.
decide we each get like 100 to spend for the game for like luck points?
So far, I was thinking that if we have the group available at around 300, that'd be enough to make sure that everyone's got amounts to like try for stunts, like power stunts, and in case we need to up a few rolls, because it's not like everybody needs that for like every single roll, you know, and that
True.
way we can maximize the amount that we have to upgrade everybody else. Unless everybody wants to modify that, where since there's 5 of us, we have more like 500 available in the group, which is close. Which I mean, we have 570 right now because of what we just got.
Mhm.
Well, as long as we have something available for us to, if we want to use it, I'm okay.
Would we?
And
would
keep
we be
your
okay
foot off
with-
that
well, yeah,
blasted
so like
summer
what,
flan.
Do we want
amount?
300 or 500
I think 300 is good enough.
for like on the table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds all right.
Okay. So
Just-
then,
and I have a power stunt. If I can, I would like to try my power stunt.
You can. This is the next
Oh.
day from that
Yeah, I want to.
from said party. You're welcome to try a single power stunt roll.
So what am I
of them.
rolling to do a power stunt?
Depends
Is
on
it-
what power you're doing that off of. You were doing what your multiple teleports.
Yeah.
So it's based off of your power. It's based off of
So
the
RM.
yeah. So RM in that dice bot chat, and it will let you know if you pass.
Invalid. I am invalid.
It's
Don't put the space.
Oh, okay.
And when in doubt, check the pin tabs because we
Nope.
pinned that up for commands.
Rat.
I'm gonna,
and then I
do-
wanted to see if I could get my phasing ability. Like I'm barely able to manipulate my body at all, so I'm trying to see what I can't do that way. Would I roll for that or?
No, at this point in time, you are unable to make with the phasing because that's tied to your physical form.
Oh, okay. So it's NA as of now.
That is correct.
speaking of which, Derek, since you're the one whose turn it is in the cycle, do you have a goal as far as what you wanted to increase?
I've thought of a few things. Well, am I able to change my coloration at all, or did I just get stuck in whatever I was at, Jerome?
What's that?
I'll be right
Because
back.
I had that mimic ability,
Mhm.
right? Or my mimic power, where I
Mhm.
can change, that was like changing what I looked like.
You're still
do
yeah.
I
We
still-
established that last game. You're still able to alter your colors. You're not able to phase because your partial phasing capability was tied to the fact that you could you weren't a solid state.
Right. Okay, so I can still manipulate myself enough to mimic and coloration in that, then, right?
You're stuck in a humanoid form at this point, which is the form you had at the
Right.
time that all this took place. The most you can
Right.
do is alter your color, and if
Okay.
something punches through your form, reform.
Oh, okay. So, like, I mean, if I got shot, then my form would be able to go back to its
Mhm.
natural humanoid state,
Correct.
if you will. Okay. All right.
In essence, it's reconstituting.
Right. It's maybe not quite as effective, but almost like the T1000 or whatever it was. Wasn't that
Yeah.
T1000, the one that was liquid metal?
Mhm.
Yeah, you can at least
Yeah.
fix yourself, but you can't change your shape.
Right.
Right. Okay. Okay. I'd be looking at currently either doing my missile creation or bumping up my agility or strength, because those are some of my lower ones anyway.
Okay. Gotcha. So to make you aware then, so our group bank, we're going to go ahead and keep the 300 available, and we'll bank 270. So
Yeah.
we have that going towards your goal. So whenever we reach that number, let me know.
Okay. I'll just kind of loosely monitor, and when we get to something, then I'll say, hey, okay.
Cool. Okay.
Cool. Okay. So are we good for spins?
Mm-hmm. Then I'm practicing then with my new enhanced cold generation, getting used to it,
Okay.
being able to control it a
Getting
little bit
adjust to
better.
all
rather-
that power.
Yeah.
Power.
Unlimited power.
Itty bitty limit space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah.
Okay, so then where we're going to pick up, Abby. So you have had your job now for about a month. This is the first steady bit of work that you've had in probably 2 years, easy.
Yeah.
So you've taken all the hours she's going to throw at you, which has kind of pushed your schedule into the wonky realm, because obviously as somebody calls out, then they have to have somebody come in and cover a shift and so on and so forth. But because you're part-time, she can only give you so much. So like there's twice so far this month you've actually skirted the 32 hours like full time at that point. And then like the next week she's had to purposely give you more time off because you worked more. But kind of like what I talked to you about in direct messages, since you're not paying for rent, you're basically in illegal, housing.
I'm a squatter. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a squatter. All that money's going in your pocket. So you've at least got that going on. So you don't have really any overhead. So it's basically everything in your pocket. It's not a whole lot, but it's at least put you in a situation now where you've been able to go out and buy your own clothes, buy your own food at this point, instead of stealing or having to hand to mouth sort of thing.
That sounds familiar.
It's also put you in a situation where you've actually been able to skirt that a little bit, as you because you're not too proud. They have a little cooking area in the Quickie Mart that you work. So as like burgers and hot dogs and whatnot don't get sold and they're going to be thrown out because they're quote unquote not good corporate wise anymore, you're like, I'll take those and take them home. So It's not probably the healthiest of eats, but for once in your life, you're in a solid 4 week time span, you're actually not going hungry.
Mhm.
You're actually in a point where you can be a little comfortable, despite the fact it's really, I mean, it's pittance wages.
Yeah. Or like on the move to a different city.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. However, in one of the weeks where you've purposely had to not work as much because you worked too much the previous week, you ended up picking up some tidbits of information about your mom,
Mhm.
things that you didn't realize were factual until you went to the library because you had a whole lot of time on your hands, and internet really isn't a thing just yet, and it's not like you have a whole lot that you can afford.
Mhm.
So going down to the library, you've done some just general research in addition to some books that you've checked out. You have discovered that she actually had a house at one point in time in this area.
Oh.
Not
Okay.
in this particular part of town where you're at, but in Strongford proper. Which that was kind of a surprise. And in doing so, you've actually taken a moment to go by the house, and it's currently up for sale. It's in a older part of town, but nice part of town. So it's like the opposite of Fairview where you're at. It's older homes, but still well kept, nice area where basically like this is the type of area where the families pass down their homes to their children, sort of thing, and
Right.
keep it in the family. So a lot of families who have been in the city for a long time, at least a generation or two, all have places around around here in this area, which is promising in finding that out. If you took it upon yourself to perhaps go door to door and maybe start asking some questions, if you felt comfortable doing so, given your circumstances.
Um.
Also knowing that the area in which you live has started to get a little bit more rough again. It had been relatively quiet up to that point when you saw the what appeared to be that drug bust or criminals or whatnot that got chased down by the police. You do see Sledgehammer in the neighborhood from time to time, mostly around the rec center where the focus is helping people get restarted with their life. But he's only one person, and he kind of goes around the whole city, so he can't. It's clear that he doesn't he doesn't have the means of like monitoring the entirety of the city.
Mhm.
And so there's still things that happen in Fairside that are pretty kind of not so bueno. Thankfully, most of it has been like muggings and kind of like personal attacks that led from a mugging sort of thing. It hasn't been anything too overt outside of that. The people in this area are kind of used to losing, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
what ends up happening with them is they don't put up much of a fight, even though it's all they have. They don't put, they try not to put up much of a fight, because they're trying to keep their lives intact.
Mhm.
And while there is a police presence in Fairside, it isn't much of one. They maybe make a pass twice a day, in this particular neighborhood, and that's it. So it's still kind of slow going. However, you are in your apartment at this point with kind of some notes that you've scribbled down and research that you've pulled out. You've got you've paid for like an old Thomas Guide map of the city, so you can pretty much figure out where to go, should you need it.
Mhm.
It is about like 2 years out of date, but that's not too bad. I mean, it's still totally usable.
I'm typing. I have a 2-year-old in a map right now.
No problem. So what would you like to do as of this point? Is there anything topical or anything that's kind of piqued your interest? Anything you want to follow up with?
Let's go talk to some neighbors.
Okay, in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still taking like? Are you at this point taking like public transit, or have you tried to find yourself some sort of a vehicle, like a bike
No,
or
I
anything?
imagine I fly everywhere I go.
Okay, that's fine too. I didn't know if you want to take that risk.
Well, she has that ability where she can turn invisible.
This is true.
She invisible and flies
Okay.
everywhere.
So you fly back over to this neighborhood then at some point in time. Middle of the day, I take it.
Yep, probably.
Sure. Okay. So again, it's pretty nice. If you want an example of what it looks like, think of a lot of the neighborhoods around BYU in Provo.
Okay. Yeah.
So homes that have been there for a bit, but you've got your stereotypical like 1 to 3 trees on the property that are fairly well maintained. People take care of their grass. Nothing stands out super, like nothing's like ostentatious home wise, but otherwise the neighborhood looks pretty sane, pretty safe. That sort of
Do
thing.
you think she would have a picture of her mom?
Yeah, 100%.
Potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, she'd probably still have one.
So I imagine she'll go up to probably the neighbors right next to the house,
Okay.
like one on each side, and
Mhm.
talk to them first, and like ask if they know anything about Alice Rostenkowski,
Okay.
and show them a picture.
Okay, sure. All right, so you start, making your way there, finding a place like in between the houses or something to drop down, invisible, and then, take your form again, so that way, it doesn't look like, you drop down out of the skies, unassuming.
Absolutely.
Make your way through, into the neighborhood. Both homes right next to this particular home. Again, fairly nice looking. It is, they have a one car garage piece. Both of them look like they have a moderate backyard, a little bit of a front yard. Sits kind of close to the curb. I mean, Leave It to Beaver could be filmed here. It's pretty serene. And you come walking up to the first house and and take a knock at the door, and then eventually, an older woman approaches and kind of opens the door. In kind of a matronly looking outfit, still, despite the fact being home, clearly has taken time to make sure that she's presentable on the off chance somebody just shows up, or they, her husband might come home later that day and say, we have plans. She's already ready, but she's got an apron on. And she looks at you. She's got a black hair, but clearly aging. It's peppered with some gray streaks here and there. And she just looks to you calmly and she says, can I help you?
Yes. Did you know the neighbor next door? Her name was Alice?
And she kind of like looks around and she says, oh, yes. Miss Rostenkowski.
Yes. And she'll like hold up the picture.
And she says, oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry.
Do you know anything about her? I'm looking for her.
Oh, dear, she moved years ago. She hasn't lived in that house has been vacant for let's see. I think she moved out even before the house became up for sale, but it's been vacant, I think maybe maybe 8-10 years. I don't know specifics. I'm not a like a gossip or anything.
Do you by chance know who is?
Okay. So we're gonna roll popularity, even though you have none. So it is SH0, I think, in the chat. Is that right,
Okay.
Dale? Okay. Even though Dale was muted.
H0.
That is right. You'll want
Do I need like a slash or something?
you'll write down exclamation point roll and then capital S and then a 0, no spaces.
SH0. Or is it S0?
Yeah. It's just should be capital S0, I think. Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yay!
Beginner's luck.
Good job. Green result.
No. It's offhand.
So good job. Okay. And so just so it makes a little bit more sense, Abby, as you're looking at that, basically there is a chart that you roll against depending upon what the
I'll be right back.
Your rank is.
Okay.
And what rank you have, the easier it is to, in essence, get a green result. Green result in most cases means you've succeeded. Green means go. If you get a yellow result, that usually means like it's pretty close to a critical. It's like you exceeded, or you got it, but you probably exceeded it a little bit. If you get a red result, that's kind of like the critical on this game, which is harder to do depending upon what type of power you have or what it is you're rolling. But in most cases, the red result obviously is the top result that you want to get.
Okay.
So, in doing that, she kind of stops and thinks for a second, but you have a friendly face, clearly, and she is apparently a good judge of character, and she says, the local, she says that you didn't hear this from me, but the local gossip is like two doors down. She's like at all the local functions, and she busybody is always looking out her window and snooping into others' backyards from her house. You would think she doesn't have a life.
Thank you. I will not tell anyone.
So she says, so if you're like looking into something, you might want to be careful, because you don't want to get on her bad side. She might turn around and like call the police on you because you stepped on her lawn wrong.
Okay, so don't step on her lawn for sure, and be extra nice. Thank you for the tip.
Oh, you're more than welcome, and I'm sorry you're having to follow up on this. It's been obviously quite some time since we've seen Alice in this area.
Right. Well, thank you for your time. It was a pleasure.
And she says, if you don't mind me asking, we thought it was a good omen that she left. And she met some strapping, handsome man who seemed to have like quite a bit of money.
Interesting. And you think that's why she left?
Oh, that's 100% why she left. That much we do know. Moved to someplace in California, so what we hear.
Yes, from my research, that is true.
The
okay.
Metropolis of Hemet.
Oh no! I would never inflict that. I would never inflict that upon her.
Okay, well, thank you. Is there anything else? Do you know why otherwise a handsome man, what kind of person she was? Anything like that?
I would assume you would probably know more than me, but she was a doctor, worked at the I think maybe she worked at the hospital here or something. Maybe or maybe it was that new Oh, I know what it was. She worked for that it was new at the time, but it was that big medical company, Alpine Technologies or something like that. They made a big what to do when they came into town and set up that big place and provided a bunch of jobs.
Does Komori know anything about that Alpine?
Yeah, she's seen advertisements on TV.
Okay, but her mom never talked to her about it.
Oh no. No, if you remember, your relationship with her was kind of adversarial. So
That's
you
true.
guys never really got into those deep, conversations. You just knew.
What do you do for work, Mom? No, just
Right.
give me money.
Yeah, you knew when you were growing up in California, she had a high paying job, which meant you had good stuff. You had the classy perfumes and the jewelry. You had, all the teen wear at the time. You definitely had the LA gear, sporting that at the time frame. So you were never without at that point. So, but no, you've never heard of her tied in relationship to Alpine Technology.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's helpful too. I can go ask around there as well. Thank you for your time.
Oh, good luck, honey.
Bye.
So she closes the door and just goes back to doing whatever it was she was doing for Susie Homemaker.
Yep. I will go 2 doors down from my mom's old house.
Okay.
And make sure I don't step on the grass or touch anything and make it out of place. And
Okay.
I knock quietly on the door.
Okay. So you very careful to stay on the sidewalk, walking up the steps and to the door. You see a sign that clearly says "Beware of dog." And also a sign that says "No solicitors." But otherwise, the house is very well kept. It looks like it was recently painted. It's again very well kept. Even the cement driveway is frequently sprayed down and kept clean of any obstructions and oil spills or anything of that nature.
Okay.
So
I knock.
You knock and the door comes open just ajar. And you hear, "What do you want? Can't you see the sign that says no solicitors? I don't want no Girl Scout cookies."
I'm not a solicitor. I'm looking for Alice Rostenkowski.
She ain't here.
But do you know anything about her? What she did while she was here?
She didn't live here, that's for sure. She was like 2 doors down.
Yes. Did you know anything? See anything suspicious or anything
Go
while she was
ahead and
here?
roll your popularity again.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Davy Jones is like, who doesn't want Girl Scout cookies, right?
Seriously.
If you don't have a green box, go away.
Oh no.
Really
Okay.
funny. Yeah.
Samoas are the best.
That is
Yeah.
completely untrue. Don't blaspheme the Thin Mints.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
Thin Mints are second.
every year,
No.
every year, I get 2 boxes of Thin Mints. I get Tagalogs, and I get at least 1 or 2 boxes of the s'mores.
And they never forget where you live.
Right.
Oh, I've got a couple crack dealers for that. So yeah, I'm good.
Right.
They deliver now too, so it's even better.
Jerome's got little girls that come up to his house once a year.
Well, more like the mothers,
Goods.
but yeah.
Phrasing.
Yeah, there
Just
you go,
phrasing,
yeah.
guys. Phrasing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I got a white feet with 20.
Okay, so that was no bueno. So she's
Yeah.
basically one steely eye is kind of staring at you at this point, like from you, because the door is like right about here on her face,
Mhm.
kind of like looking at you, and she's like, "We don't want no drugs in this neighborhood, lady. Are you trying to push the white pony?
No. I don't even know what that is.
You trying to push the marijuana out here? Huh?
No.
I'm gonna call the cops."
She like empties her pockets like I don't have anything. But it was nice meeting you.
Yeah,
Sorry to bother you.
Go ahead and roll one more time.
Okay. Nope.
Okay.
This lady is just unconvincible.
Yeah. So you turn and walk away, and you could feel her eye at this point, like on you as you're walking back down the sidewalk, away from her house.
Why aren't you a crotchety old bat?
Mrs. Kravitz.
Mhm. Oh yeah, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Komori's just gonna keep walking, like probably back towards the nice lady's house.
Okay.
Not to go talk to her, just like that direction.
Sure. Okay. So are you doing anything else in this neighborhood?
Well, at night, I think I want to come back and check out the house, but not during the day.
Okay. So you're basically heading back to that that alleyway in between the houses to go invisible and take flight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alrighty. All right. So the next day at Casa de Carmen, you wake up to the sounds of your roommate Michelle getting ready for her workday, which usually consists. You're getting now that you're back at this point and actually living at the apartment again. You're getting kind of into a groove. Like she seems to like listening to the radio when she gets ready, which is a little loud, which means you probably have to get up too around that time frame. But thankfully, it's not terrible music. She's tends to listen to the older rock stations. It's not quite classic rock, so it's the greatest hits of the '80s. Sort of thing. So, every so often you hear Def Leppard or Poison or Guns N' Roses or something that, come on. But she's in the process of getting dressed and getting ready. At this point
Wait, is this the night after the morning after the party?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. She's gonna turn over and put her pillow over her head.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
She was out late with her sister and Brad.
Yes, she was.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. She's not gonna be happy early in the morning.
Mm-hmm. And so you hear a knock at your door. Hey, Carmen, you up?
No.
She says, "Okay, I'm going to turn off the music. I guess we got some sort of news last night that we have to prepare for some sort of like big deal. So I'm probably going to be home late. Just wanted to let you know."
What kind of big deal?
They didn't really say, but I guess it's like a all hands on at work.
Oh, right. Okay. Good luck.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'll probably need it. And
she will go back to sleep.
Yeah, as she goes walking out, she says, good morning to Sagan. And just
Sagan's probably like working out or something.
When Sagan's just in your living room at this point, just waiting for whenever you get up. But yeah, Michelle ends up going and leaving at that point. Michelle, or not Michelle, but Sagan is in the living room at this point. You can faintly hear the TV on, but it's not, I mean, it's easy enough to drown out.
It is like we probably would have talked about it the night before. What our expectation is like after that discussion, Carmen will be feeling very conspicuous and thinking maybe she should be scarce during the investigation.
Okay.
Just so that people don't ask questions.
Okay.
Or two and two together or
Right.
look too closely. I mean, records are what they are, but I don't know. Would we have talked about whether she's expected to be present, or they're all expecting to be present, or
You
what?
guys haven't really gotten into that yet, but
Yeah.
that would probably be a good in-character conversation to have when Carmen is ready to wake up and go to the vein.
Okay, well, that time is not yet.
Sure. Okay.
So she might just like take some aspirin and like
Mhm.
go back to sleep for a while.
Sure thing. Okay. So those of you at the vein, which is the rest of you,
Yeah.
you end up
Yes.
as you guys are greeted first thing in the morning to and first thing being like 5 in the morning at this point, you end up hearing on the communication, like the comm in the vein, it just starts channeling the radio at this point.
I'm actually at my apartment.
Sure, no problem.
Shona's going to throw a shoe at the speaker.
So you're gonna get out of the
No,
barrack-
she would just reach down and whatever the door, whatever,
So
wherever the
you just throw a shoe at this point. It like harmlessly sails out of the barrack area, like down into the main room. It's currently Casey Kasem running down the top hits.
Nice.
We are in fine form
Zoinks!
today.
too loud.
Adjusting,
Gonna-
and it's a little
gonna
bit
put her-
quieter.
yeah.
So Mark makes his way into the computer room. Says, "Good morning, mainframe. Sounds like you decided to activate the radio today.
Affirmative.
Is this the type of channel you like to listen to?"
Negative. This is based upon information that Mainframe has gleaned from the internet. Mainframe has recently read a report that indicates that humanity sees a productivity increase when music is played in the workplace. The vein is technically designated as a workplace.
Interesting. That does sound reasonable. It is rather early to start, however. It's fine with me and yourself, of course, but perhaps give the others a few more hours to wake up. 5 a.m. is rather early.
Adjusting the clock. Setting
Excellent.
for 8 a.m.
Excellent. By the way, mainframe, you have been doing an excellent job as of late. I just wanted to let you know. I consider you a valued member of the team.
Mainframe is Mainframe. Mainframe is not a part of the team, but thanks you nonetheless.
With that said, would it interest you to have the ability to be more autonomous? If we had some sort of robotic form that you could control, would that be something that would interest you?
Mainframe has not considered this since the conversation about pants.
Right. The pants.
Syntax error dedicated a profuse amount of time to trying to get Mainframe to wear pants.
This is how you create Ultron.
Yes.
By trying to
About,
make him wear pants?
It's like giving a house elf a sock.
oh no.
Mainframe is free.
I've got no strings to hold me down.
This is a new terrible story arc. Oh no.
Let's get past the terrible one that I caused first, then we can get into you creating a sentient killer robot.
Right. Okay.
I'm reminded
Besides yourself.
too much
Yeah.
of Talus with mainframe.
Yeah, so he goes, at least keep it in mind that it could be a possibility if you wanted to explore more about yourself or grow in any way. You can, of course, let me know at any time.
Mainframe takes this as an acknowledgement. Mainframe also would like to remind Hyperion of the massive amount of money exchanged for the services of Midnight X. This might be deemed appropriate for the upcoming inspection.
Yes, excellent. Thank you for that. If you're able to provide me the details of how you initiated that, I can see what I can do with our accounting department at Quantum Unlimited.
Okay, you hear the printing sounds of a printer start going.
Cool.
Ooh,
All right.
State-of-the-art dot matrix.
So he goes over and he makes sure to look at each of the pages, and he memorizes the information on each page just to make sure he's got that.
Oh yeah, it's all basic transaction stuff. Basically, what he did. Unfortunately, you're going to have to get creative in accounting for this, because all of these accounts are all like shady offshore, non-extradition country type accounts. Where banks are held.
Okay.
So if any of this pops, in the inspection, obviously that isn't their purview, in particular, but it would send up some red flags that could, in turn, cause them to alert the United States and go, oh, hey, this guy may be skirting the BSA Act.
Right.
The Boy Scouts of America?
Bank Secrecy Act.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that one.
Yes.
That was my second guess.
Oh, of course.
I occasionally have to remember not everybody worked in a bank like I did for years.
Okay.
You're like, no,
Let's
Scout's
see.
honor.
Yeah. So he goes ahead and he takes that information, and let's see, because it's 5 a.m., everyone's trying to sleep. He goes ahead then, and he heads to the office to make sure that he's up to date on everything that's going on. That way, when people come into the office, he can talk to them about the upcoming inspection or overview and all of that stuff.
Sure. And as you're going over that, Mainframe then asks again. He says, Mainframe has a query.
Yes.
Should Mainframe be adding not syntax error to the database of accessible users? Mainframe is confused with the alternative dimension paradigm.
Yes, understandable. At this point in time, since he's technically not a member of the legacy in this reality, he should not be added to the list of administrators. Speaking of which, would it be possible for you to no longer refer to him as syntax error, but as his actual name?
Parsing. Negative. Oh, hold on 1 second. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, go ahead again. There we go.
Why? Let's see. What would you require to be willing to change that?
Mainframe has not taken this into consideration.
If you could do that and let me know, I would appreciate it.
Affirmative. Mainframe will parse this information. We'll let you know when the parsing has concluded.
Excellent. Thank you. So goes ahead and gathers up the info, staple, whatever, and takes off.
Okay. So at this point, fast forwarding a little bit in time to 8 a.m. Hopefully everybody at this point is feeling a little bit more chipper about things. Angler, you stayed at your apartment. Are you going to be going into the vein, or did you have some other ideas for what you wanted to do while you're still nursing a hangover?
He can deal with a hangover. But yes, he's gonna go to the vein.
Okay. Okay.
He's gonna pick up some groceries and then he's gonna head over.
Carmen will head over.
So the first one over is Angler, so Shone and Ixion. In the vein, as the elevator, you can hear the slight hum of the elevator in use, and then you hear the familiar sounds of groceries being brought in. You know, the paper bags kind of crumpling. As somebody is carrying them in, followed by Carmen. So there's activity in the vein at this point.
Some blood
Shone's
flow in
going to
the
have
vein.
her head down on the table in front of a cup of coffee.
Okay.
2 Tylenol, more water. I'm making breakfast.
Carmen will also sit down next to Joan and put her head down on the table.
Okay.
And then Shone's going to show her her hand. It's going to say Mark and some numbers.
Okay.
She'll be like, which one was that?
I don't remember. I think he was the redhead.
Oh yeah. He was an okay dancer.
And today it is pancakes.
Just as long as it's not margaritas.
It puzzles me to see why you would do this to yourself, knowing the significant possibility of imbibing that much alcohol would make you feel this way the following day.
Because it's while it's happening, it's fun.
Poisoning yourself is fun?
In this aspect, yes.
Perhaps I'm glad that I'm not human.
It's a matter of subjectivity. They were drinking to have some fun and probably overdid it. I intentionally overdid it because I was angry last night and it is frustrating. I'm going to be talking to Hyperion later and offer my resignation if he wants it.
Oh, I don't think it's going to come to that.
I do not see how you could resign from family.
No, from the company.
Ask our father about that.
True.
It'll reduce the amount of attention that's brought into his company if I resign, and yeah.
I think what damage is done. So I don't think it's going to matter if you're there or not.
Perhaps the business can keep you on as a consultant, but under the table, as you would say.
No, that's not right. I ain't gonna harm his business for stuff like that. I make enough elsewhere with my other stuff to be fine.
Oh, that's
Worst
not
comes to worst, I
right.
can live here, and even then, this is nicer than the stuff I had in the Navy.
Except Mainframe likes to play the radio really loud at 5 a.m.
Mainframe has been corrected on that and has now adjusted that to 8 a.m. per Hyperion's designation.
Can you make it more like 9?
Parsing has changed to 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Drink more water, less coffee. Coffee dries you out. It makes a hangover worse.
Coffee is the drink of the gods.
I guess you
Yes.
would know.
And I would know.
Yes, and South Americans and Mesoamericans would say it's not coffee, it would be chocolate.
Yeah,
It's
well,
the drink of the gods.
that's them.
In
I
Greece, they would say it's pomegranate juice because
yeah, but that's them. I am not them. I am Egyptian, and I'm telling you what is my nectar.
And why do you still have a hangover? Flip.
Because every time somebody said, "Would you like another margarita?" Carmen said, "Yes, please."
Query. If Shone is Egyptian, does this mean she walks like an Egyptian?
I've heard that one before.
Have you seen her walk like that?
I don't believe she was walking very well in any manner last night.
Mainframe is trying to correlate why there is such a designation as walking like an Egyptian.
It's just a song.
File in under creative answer. And at this point, Hyperion.
You can also file it under stupid racism too if you want to. If you'd like a more detailed explanation, I'll get a book for you that'll explain it.
At that point, Hyperion, comes back. Presumably, he's got, obviously a bunch of stuff with him.
Morning, everybody.
So
morning.
how much trouble are we in?
Well, none yet. The overview has, of course, not begun yet. We still have a little bit of time. And with that said, I think we should seriously discuss the differences between our civilian life and our superheroic one. It's only a matter of time before we won't be able to maintain our clandestine nature as superheroes. It is possible to be a superhero and still have a social life as well. I've seen that it has been done by some other individuals. We may be able to do the same eventually. Has anyone had any thoughts with regard to this before?
I mean, you guys are the only ones that I consider loved ones, so. But other people who have family, they may not want that kind of attention.
Well, if it becomes public knowledge that I'm related to Reich Shield, that's going to make difficulty for all of us.
True. Does anyone think that we would need to, how would I say it, improve our status with the populace at large before that type of revelation could be at least somewhat palatable? Like our reputation could precede anything that's from anyone's past.
I just don't understand why we have to give up our identity. I mean, Batman doesn't, Superman hasn't, Spider-Man, they all get to keep their identity.
But
Well,
those are comic book characters.
Yeah, but still, they're superheroes.
But that is not real life. We are.
They're comic books based on our lives.
Well, the conflicts that they face are only as difficult as the writers come up with.
Correct. They are fictional characters in all manners. They may be patterned loosely after people the authors may be associated with, but they are not real life superheroes as we would be comparative to. Because out of character, they don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. We're not in their world.
understandable that you may not want to have your individual lives revealed. I myself have been pondering that, of course, but it may be inevitable. We aren't just one or two or three individuals. We're a relatively significant family. And, well, it's not as if any of us are directly related to someone that we know of who wouldn't be able to defend themselves. That would be one possible reason not to reveal our original identities, because of those that could come under harm.
You mean our origin?
Correct.
Yeah, I do worry how that would tarnish his public image, and specifically people who were close to him, like Meredith. Not that that's public awareness, but to the people who know who she is or who he is, that, I don't know. I guess people who knew who he is might already be aware of his activities.
Speaking of which, perhaps we should see if we can reach out to Ms. McCall as well.
She certainly might. She certainly has a vested interest in
Well,
this
yeah, because it's going to affect her as well. So,
right.
She would also have the experience of knowing what would and wouldn't look good to the public. That was her primary career domain for decades, as I understand it. Perhaps she would have a take as far as what revealing our parentage could do. For all we know, that might actually have a beneficial effect and could counteract our activities in Argentina, or our supposed temporary relationship with Albrecht and his forces during that time.
Do you think it would make us more of a target?
The fact that we were already there, frankly, and the fact that we've already participated, quite obviously, in resolving the Fairview crisis, we're making ourselves more and more of a target because that is the part of the job of a superhero. You can't avoid being a target eventually.
I suppose being made targets by the enemies of those who care about us is something that happens inevitably. And as long as we prepare for it, I suppose that's the best thing that we could do.
Does anyone have objection with revealing to others that Electrum is our father? If it comes to that.
Let's run it past Meredith first. She was his last spouse, and it would affect her. First plate up. Syrup's in the bag.
Excellent. I'll make the call, see if she's available. She has been incognito for a while. So he goes over to the phone and places a call, see if can reach Ms. McCall.
Okay.
Carmen will get herself a plate of pancakes.
All right. So the phone starts ringing. Ring, 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 ring. And you pick up. Yo.
Banana phone.
It's a,
Hello.
A masculine, a very masculine sounding kind of deep voice.
Hello. I'm trying to reach Meredith McCall. Is she in?
Who's speaking?
This is Mark Annette.
So, the phone gets covered up and you hear this. Some guy by the name of Mark Hairnet's calling. And then you hear like some other female voice, like basically kind of chastise him a second. It says, yeah, hang on a second. Mark Hairnet? What kind of a name is that? Are you just like a solicitor or something?
No, Annette. Not Hairnet. I can understand the confusion. Onett. Onett.
Then you hear some rustling of the phone just, and it's like, give me that. Just, no, I've got it. Just give me that. And a female voice picks up. Hi, I'm sorry. Hello, Mr. Onett?
That's correct. And who am I speaking with?
Oh, somebody at the school. Not important. Sorry. You're looking for Ms. McCall?
That's correct. Is she in?
No, she's not here right now. But could I give you to Mr. Higgins?
That would be fine. Thank you.
Okay, hold on 1 second, and kind of covers up the phone, and you hear like her yell, kind of echoes. It's loud enough that you can tell that she's yelling something, and you can hear the guy, whoever it was, chastise her for being loud. And then eventually there's some rustling again, and the phone picks up, and it's Joe, and it's like, hey, Mark, sorry about that. The kids were getting the phone. We've got some other trainees in the simulator right now, so we didn't have anybody available yet to answer the phone. How can I help?
Oh, good to hear from you, Joe. I was actually just wondering if Ms. McCall was in. Had a question or two to ask her about various things. Is she available, perchance?
No, she's actually not here. She's kind of incognito right now, on purpose. I guess dealing with something personal. But she's supposed to be back in a couple of days. Is it like an emergency? Like, is there something that I can help with?
Well, I was hoping to tap into her career expertise, what with her time in the political arena and what have you. We've been having some issue with regard to, say, separating our individual lives with our superheroic lives.
Oh, the secret identity challenge. Gotcha. No, I completely understand that.
So that has put us in the crosshairs of some individuals who are beginning to look at least some of our team as if we are Nazi sympathizers because of the Legacy's help in Argentina.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's bad. I didn't even think of that. I'm sorry, guys.
Understandable. I'm sure it was bound to happen eventually that we'd be caught up in something that's complicated. That's, as you can see, why I would want to get her advice, especially to see if perhaps to combat that, we should perhaps reveal our heritage to see if that would balance the scales, so to speak.
Oh, she
Does he
would
know about
definitely know better. She would know better than I would. You could stall for time by appearing in two places at the same time. If back in the day, we would find people that look like us to, dress them up and put them in the, in the audience someplace and, make our public appearance as who we are. And of course that, so when they turned around, they're like, "What? No, I was there too." Which help, plausible deniability. I mean, technology is a little bit better nowadays, but I mean, I don't know what all you kids have got up your sleeves, but I'm sure there's something that might help there. At least, if nothing else, stall for some time.
Right.
Is
Understandable.
are you speaking? Do we hear both sides of the conversation?
No, just
Just
Dale's.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
standing right there, so you'd hear my side.
Okay.
All right. Well, interesting idea. I appreciate that, Mr. Higgins. If she happens to return earlier, of course, if you could have her reach out to us, I'd appreciate it. An overview we're going to have with some United Nations officials is going to be happening probably within the next couple of days, so we will be under tight scrutiny. We'll see what we can do in the meantime.
Okay, what caused that, if you don't mind me asking? Because the United Nations usually doesn't operate on American soil.
Right. Yes, it's a strange short story, really. A conversation happened with an individual, Miss Abrams, who's a part of the Guardians.
Israeli Shield. Okay.
Exactly. Well, during a business gathering, meeting, party of sorts, Angler inadvertently revealed that not only was he his individual self, but also the angler to Miss Abrams. This spiraled a little bit out of control, so
This is
we're
making a
trying to
lot
do
more
what we can
sense.
do. Yes. As you can see, it's rather complicated now, but we're seeing what we can do to get ahead of it.
Would you like me to be there? I mean, I would have no problem helping to kind of smooth things over if I can.
If you're able to leave your duties there at the Institute and act as a character witness, that would be excellent.
Of course, I'm at this point. The kids have been drilling almost nonstop. I'm sure they can find something to do in town, and you hear like exclamation like in the background like, "Oh, field trip," and then you hear him go, "Hang on, I'm still talking."
Well, excellent. In fact, that could be an excellent opportunity to even help the young ones with anything. In fact, if they needed some help with scientific whatnot, we can assist with that as well. But
That's
at any
right. You
rate,
have a whole division dedicated to that now, don't you?
true, we could even provide a tour of the facility to the children if you'd like to come.
I don't know if that might be necessary, but I think getting a full workup on some of these kids might help. If for no other reason to kind of help us gauge like where they're at, because I don't know if you know exactly what it is we're doing, but a lot of these kids have just come into their powers.
I see.
Obviously born with it, and we've kind of picked them up, here and there. So getting some sort of like a markup, kind of like medical records in a sense of like where they're measured at right now, I think that might be invaluable. And I think, I mean, I know Meredith isn't here to make that call, but I can't imagine she'd have have a problem with me, doing that judiciously here or working with you. So when exactly is the big date? We can maybe come out a day early or something, so we're not like crossing paths with that.
Well, as soon as possible. I've been told so far that it's going to be within the next few days. We don't have an exact date locked down, so if you're able to arrive even by tomorrow, that would be best. I'll see about getting an exact day, though, if you need it.
Okay. Yeah. When you get those details, just go ahead and send them over. We have an email address now. I know that's kind of a thing. So why don't you send it to me electronically then, and I'll start getting the kids together, and we'll have a field trip here pretty quick once we get something a little bit more nailed down.
Fantastic, Mr. Higgins. It was a pleasure speaking with you as always.
Oh, hey, not a problem. Happy to help wherever I can.
Take care. Boop. So then Mark turns the rest. So, right now, Ms. McCall is still working on something, perhaps a personal matter, and won't be available for the next couple of days. However, Shield, Joseph Higgins, and those he's teaching at the New Haven Institute should be able to make a field trip of sorts here. We'll be able to actually help him study the children. We'll be able to make use of the new version of the medical scanner to help with any of their needs, since it's sounding like all of them are superpowered beings, the purpose of their institute, of course. And at the same time, he can be a character witness to at least the Legacy's activities, if that's necessary for the overview.
So, would we do this as quantum employees or as the legacy?
I believe we should start off as quantum employees. They clearly aren't aware of all of us. They're technically not aware of you. The only one they're fully aware of at this point is Angler. So if it's necessary that we started to have to reveal ourselves, if their deep dive is that deep into our selves and activities, that of course leads me to why I was asking all of you about that moments ago regarding revealing our actual identities. For all I know, it may come to that. If it does, we should be ready.
Well, right now, you, Carmen, and Freddie are the only ones that are kind of under a microscope, correct?
No, just me and his business as a whole. It's
More or
less about
less.
him and more about me. They're going to look for a few things. They're going to look for anyone Sagan has interacted with from a supervisory type of position, and they're going to look at the people that I supervise the most.
Speaking
What
of
about-
which,
They're going to go over the time that I went to New Prussia to check their water. Good thing I do an incredibly thorough job whenever I do that, and my reasoning for being there is more than exemplary.
yes, your note-taking will definitely help in that regard, I'm sure, since you actually did take measurements. At the same time, the money that was spent to obtain your records when you were injured in Argentina, that was done in a somewhat clandestine manner because it had to, due to the secrecy of your medical records. Mainframe alerted me to that earlier this morning, so I've taken that information to accounting at Quantum Unlimited. I've made them aware of what we need to look into to see if we can make that appear better than it currently does. So there are a few irons in the fire, plates spinning, as it were. It may be a good idea for all of us to make sure we maintain presences as per usual at Quantum Unlimited, not to raise suspicion, even if there are those of you who aren't directly under the microscope, as we put it. Still, everything is business as usual. I, of course, will be there every day. And I do need to discover exactly when that's going to take place. And I need to reach out to Stephen P. New. Having a defense attorney would be effective in this case as well.
My roommate, Michelle, left
I'll
this
be right back.
morning talking about some big thing that's happening at the office today. So I don't know if that means they're getting ready for the inspection itself or if they're just, prep.
Jerome, since Hyperion was at the office already, does he know if that was like just because of the new release of the version 2 med scanner, or is that more the incoming
Well, both.
thing? It's both. Okay.
Both, yeah. So it's kind of it's literally put everybody hands on deck for both good and bad reasons.
Okay.
Obviously, everybody is trying to reconfigure their current work schedules to accommodate the new the upgrade they got presented with at this point, so they can get as many of them out initially, while you guys are still working on getting those factories set up,
Okay.
like what Donovan was talking about.
Okay.
So they're basically reconfiguring and trying to make sure that they can hire on enough in-house people to get several units lined up first, so that that way there's not this quick backlog, but that they can get some of these out so they can capitalize on the buzz. On top of that, and of course some quality control testing too, to make sure that there's no problems with the insertion of the drive and the cataloging of the information and whatnot, as well as everybody is quality controlling at this point, making sure that there are records are all what they should be. Nobody's doing things on company time that they shouldn't be doing, so on and so forth. Even not even necessarily from they're treating it like the inspection is coming internally. Like,
Right.
if
Batman is playing Galaga.
exactly, yeah. if the law was coming down to inspect and make sure that there weren't any violations of the law, they're going through and making sure that even though the UN can't necessarily enforce anything of that nature, they're going through and still making sure that everything is lined up the way it's supposed to be, that there's
Right.
nothing out of line, anything of that nature. So yeah, that's why everything it's not like high alert. It's just like everybody's super busy putting in overtime to make sure these two things are the primary focus right now.
Gotcha. Okay. So then Hyperion goes to that. Effectively, they're both things that are happening is what has everyone abuzz at the company. The fact that we're releasing that new product, the emergence of the T drive, and the med scanner. That means that production is going to be amped up. And at the same time, due to the upcoming inspection overview, all of our records are being gone over with a fine-tooth comb internally to make sure everything is above board, nothing has been missed, everything is lining up the way it's supposed to be. So that means that everyone's individual records need to be checked to make sure nothing's being missed and so forth. Again, another reason for all of us to make sure we're actually visible at the company as often as we can be for the next week or so.
With this intensive investigation potentially coming through, is my background that we have essentially falsified? Is it solid enough that would I need to worry about that?
Yeah, because I was thinking the same thing.
Admittedly, that may be put to the test. Your identities are good enough, of course, so that you've been able to seek employment, and you have that. Every number that you're supposed to have, every metric you're supposed to have is technically above board as far as documentation is concerned, but that, of course,
it doesn't hurt that one of my siblings is a walking supercomputer.
Right, precisely. Yet again, another reason why I was mentioning this earlier. Several of us aren't exactly human beings. Therefore, if anything trips that up, it could cause a domino effect, revealing all 5 of us. But if that happens, I believe that we'll at least be strong enough to deal with whatever backlash there is. but we just have to be ready in case that does happen. We'll need to respond effectively. That's why I'm trying to be as efficient as possible now, getting as much information and help ahead of time as I can.
For now, my thought is we maintain course. No one goes telling any extra information than needs be. Myself included. Beyond that, even though the company will be under a lot of scrutiny, if we manage to just keep it on the company, we should be fine moving forward. But that's one of those things that, as long as everyone is very, like he was saying, being public about being at the office, I can run out, do superhero stuff, and no one's going to see anything twice about it because the UN's going to know my secret identity until I get a secret identity.
I could conceivably be in 2 places at once, but considering my power set, I think people might see through that.
You
Yes.
do realize that I could stand in and like I literally look like Lightbringer right now, at least facially and complexion and everything. I may need some additional enhancements for my body type, but I would be able to stand. I would be able to stand in for any one of us, potentially. Though I cannot manipulate my mask like I used to where I would be able to literally match you almost exactly, I could still pass a facial recognition.
That's good to know.
To where if we did have something that we needed to be, or one of us needed to be 2 places at once, I could be your
doppelganger.
Precisely.
If it came to it, I haven't asked you this before, Ixion. Can you mimic vocal patterns as well?
Is that part of that, Jerome?
Nope.
No. Unfortunately, no.
All right. So the moment anyone were to ask you a question as something as you or someone else, as they say, the jig would be up the moment you began talking. You'd sound like yourself.
Would there be some sort of device that we could do to manipulate my voice, perhaps?
It could be done.
Yeah, like they do on Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise.
Yes, something like that could be made. A vocal oscillation modulator. Attach that. Well,
I could probably work with it with you.
And me.
Yeah. Between the 3 of us, we could probably do it.
and that is if we would need you to be a stand-in, but at the same time, that would probably be something useful to you regardless, since you could change your shape or at least change your mimicry to others. Be that as it may, we will need to prepare. I need to still continue to talk to others. It will be good for each of us once breakfast is done for us to actually arrive at the office, probably in separate vehicles, just to, of course, maintain our individual lives as they were. So,
Yes, I go with you today, Carmen.
Yeah.
So hold that thought as you guys are debating, and getting ready to go into work and having short and large stacks of pancakes. So a bit of a time jump. Abby, it is now, you've gone back. It's now evening time. You have also found at this point at your apartment, mostly because your shifts have alternated back. You've had to do like turnarounds, which means you've gone in, you've had enough time to go sleep, and you have to go back in, sort of thing. So you've had a couple of those on the weeks that you have worked there. So to help with that, you've picked up an energy drink called Juki, which has been helping to kind of keep you like pumped and amped, and alert and awake. And it's got this. It's very much like a sports centric looking drink. They've got like this powerful black athlete, looking at it, it's like, he's like, I play basketball, baseball, football, and that's why I drink Juki.
It's like
puts it up to
Jolt.
Kind of
Jolt.
So you've had some of that, at the apartment. So you're kind of wired and ready at this point, and probably a little nervous, given the level of inspection and closeness that you're going to go, because this is the first real lead you've had in years.
Yeah.
But so you at this point it's nighttime, so it's actually a lot easier, because you can mask yourself, flying through the sky. You don't have to drop down in an alleyway. So you just drop down into the ladies' backyard. Neighborhood is pretty quiet. A window nearby is open. You can hear a TV playing, in the background. It's playing some Johnny Carson, probably old reruns, or whatnot. In the backyard, there is a doghouse. Give me a perception check, intuition check.
Oh, I wanted to break into my mom's old house.
Oh, breaking your mom's old
Not
house?
the lady's house.
Oh, I thought you were
No.
going to go. Okay.
I don't want to go anywhere near her.
She scares you.
Yes.
That's fine. So scratch part of that. Obviously, there's no doghouse back here, but I mean, lawn and everything's kept. As you are, but still give me a intuition check, because you're flying and touching down into her backyard. So in this case, you're going to use the I stat, which is intuition, and then put that in the dice roller. Which pretty much everything for you is better than a shift 0.
And I just do like roll RM 30 or something.
Yeah, roll RM, I think, is all you have to do.
Roll RM. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it needs to be.
Nope, I need an exclamation point. Huh?
Yeah, exclamation. Yeah, and it needs to follow like the lowercase and uppercase stuff, I think.
So let's see what you get. Dun 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 dun. Oh!
Woohoo!
Red result.
She's like, I am omnipotent. I know everything that is going on right here.
Yep. Everything in the neighborhood. I know all the things. So as you are flying down, and it's probably because of your, because you have something to your vision, don't you?
I have microscopic
That's
sight.
what I knew it. Okay, yeah.
And
okay.
I have sonar as well.
Right. So yes. So you're getting into the area and kind of got all your feelers up just to make sure you're not like dropping down on somebody by mistake, or just seeing everything for what it is. Like, you can see the crispness in the air right now. And you happen to scan over to the that lady's backyard, and you can see, of course, that she's got a doghouse back there. However, you don't see any dog poo, like, anywhere. There's a bowl out, and it's got water in there, but the bowl itself, it doesn't appear to have like any dirt or anything on it. And in actuality, there's like no trace of any sort of dog mess in the backyard at all, and that is really peculiar, because no matter how much you clean up, there would have been something back there.
Yeah, that makes me suspicious. So I'll go check it out.
Okay. You can, but of course you can see the back of the of your mom's old place too. But do you just fly or do you drop down in her backyard?
I'll drop down.
Okay. So you drop down, and kind of looking around again. You've got everything going, like your sonar at this point is just kind of like passively going off in the area, and you detect a slight motion inside the doghouse.
Okay.
And as you turn and you look, you actually see the dog, and the dog is like this big kind of like pit bull looking thing. But with your vision, you can tell that there has been an amazing level of attention to detail. But because of your vision, your microscopic vision, you can tell this dog is not real.
What?
Okay. Like to the average person,
Yeah.
looking at it, you're like, that would be okay. That's just somebody's dog. But because you can like really like look in, you're like, wow, those are like metal plates underneath the texturing. You're like this facade skin with hair and everything.
I was going to say, if this is a new breed of dog, I need to crossbreed them with mine, because if it entails no poop in the backyard, I am so down.
Can I go inspect it?
You absolutely can. Give me an agility check at this point.
Oh, okay.
You're trying to remain quiet and stealthy.
Okay.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
You are quiet. So that makes sense. You're kind of used to having to stay hidden, given who and what you are. So you get right up to this doghouse, and you can and on the inside you can see a charging station.
Ah. Can I unplug it?
Reach into it and plug it. Absolutely, if you'd like.
Just to spite the lady.
Okay. So basically, and I know it's a butt of a joke, but the charging port is in its backside. So you kind of reach behind it, pull out the plug, and at this point the it stands up and darts outside the darts out of the doghouse. Give me another agility check.
Okay.
That gives new meaning to the word butt plug.
I was hoping someone would say,
Oh no!
No.
Oh. Look what you did.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you unpull that plug, and it jumps to attention real quick and darts out. And as it darts out, it clips your leg from where you're standing at and sends you kind of end over end on top of the doghouse, and then down. And of course, your invisibility, like everything about it, like drops, momentarily as it turns, as it like whips around. Initially, its back is to you, and it's looking around to see if it can spot you.
I have to apologize, but I also am not going to apologize for the fact that I had to take that opportunity. So.
Couldn't let it go, could you?
I couldn't. No. I apologize. So.
No, you don't really apologize. You're just saying the words.
I'm not really sorry, but I'm just
sorry, not sorry. Yeah.
Do I need to roll to like bring my invisibility back up?
Under duress, you will. Give me one second. Oh my. Okay, so
Don't like
go
the
ahead.
sound.
I don't like that.
Go ahead and roll your psyche. Now, before you type that in, this is where Marvel Superheroes is a little different than other games that you have played. You can add what's called karma to your die roll, and however many points you put to your dice roll, or however much karma you spend, is what you add to your die roll.
Okay.
So, and you per game session you can spend up to 100 karma. So if you would like to spend karma for this dice roll, you can, or somebody redeem points so you can actually re-roll it if necessary.
I've
Well, I
already done
do
that.
have one reroll.
Right, that's what I was talking about.
And that does, if you don't use that today or tonight, it's bankrolled. Like I've got one written on my character sheet from like 2 months ago. I haven't used it yet. But
I've got two.
Okay, I think I'm going to roll and then use my reroll if I need to.
Okay, all right. So go ahead and roll.
drum roll.
Oh, okay, re-rolling it.
Okay. So that was a white result, a very low roll. So let's see if you get if you succeed with your reroll. Oh, another white result.
Should have used some karma.
Well,
See, I told you I rolled poorly.
It's interesting.
So
Yeah.
3 white results in a row. Brittany, I hate to say this, but she may dethrone you for your bad rolls.
I will take that.
Yeah, especially- finally, someone
And good
else.
riddance.
So
I also
shocked,
roll bad in everything else. So.
shocked and stunned. You kind of hesitate, like you understand you probably in hindsight made a bad choice, but your mind kind of focused on that more so than trying to hide initially, because you were just shocked and alarmed at how quickly it darted out and you kind of got toppled over. It turns and looks at you and immediately goes to bite down on your leg.
Okay. Can
And
I
that
roll?
was the end of
You can
the
absolutely roll
Legacy's
to you
newest
can
sister
absolutely
who
roll
they
a
didn't
dodge.
even know about.
Yeah.
It's agility to dodge.
It is agility to dodge. Do you
Can
do you
I
have
instead
any?
maybe fight it? Because my fighting is a lot better.
So try and block.
I guess if that
Okay,
is
you
fighting
can. That would
ability.
be fighting.
Okay, then
Okay,
yes, I want to do that.
then let's do that. So go ahead and you're going to roll against your fighting. So in the chat, throw that out. And I played the Gong Show fail chime there for you when you failed. Brr, 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 brr.
Woohoo.
Woohoo!
Should be a whammy. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Stop!
Brr.
Yeah.
If I had that capability, like I know there's ways you can layer stuff on Twitch, like for animations or whatnot. If I had a button like I could press and do something similar to like the whammy, I'd absolutely do that. That'd be great.
That would.
I'm working on saving up for a stream deck on top of going to Gen Con and other things.
Okay, so Abby, you
Yes.
reach out real quick, like with your hands. Unfortunately, it's going to prevent you from flying, but you like put your hands up and throw a block, and it's like trying to bite down on it, and you quickly realize it is inhumanly strong, like far stronger than a normal dog would be, which makes sense because you saw that it was, robotic.
Mhm.
So you managed to successfully block. You have an action this turn.
And
Can
you
I
have a
try and
reroll.
unplug it? Oh, I have
It-
another one?
It is unplugged.
Yes.
Oh dear. It has battery.
Yes, it has a
Um,
battery.
Yes. I gave you another reroll.
Sweet.
Okay, can I try and find where the battery is, or should I just attack,
No.
Or is that two
No,
actions? Okay.
Yeah, that would be 2 actions at this point, and that would be very tough to do, given the
Right.
darkness that you're in at this point.
Okay. Can I like try and pick it up and then drop it while I'm like fly up with it in my arms and drop it?
Sure. Well, you're holding your arms, and you need your arms to fly.
That's true. Yeah.
So no. However, you are kind of strong. If you want to
Yes.
give it the what for, you could.
Okay. I just don't want to be heard by the lady in the house.
Which at this point, given the fact that the growling and whatnot's going on, that's becoming increasingly difficult.
Yeah. Fair. All right, I'll just throw caution to the wind and attack it.
Okay. So how are you going to attack it? Just going to punch it or kick it? Are you going to chuck it?
True. I'm
Keep in
trying.
mind, your strength maxes out at 1 ton.
Yeah.
Weakling.
That's not polite at all.
I think what I'll try and do is just like chuck it to the side as far away as I can, and then attempt to fly away.
Okay, that'll have to be your second action, but you can definitely
Right.
fling that bad boy. Go ahead
Okay.
and roll again. This is against your fighting.
Okay. Oh, seriously?
Oh no!
I re-roll.
You're gonna re-roll? Okay, go ahead.
You
should
can remember you
Karma
can
points.
also add in karma too.
Karma.
She's
Okay.
So
already
if
rolled
you're
at this
if you're
point.
rolling and you need to get us, well,
I
know,
will
I know,
add
but I'm
in
saying for her
30
reroll.
karma
Well,
to my reroll.
you can't at this point. You've already started the
Oh.
roll. You'll have
Yeah,
to
you have
wait
to
till
call
next
it
time.
first.
Okay.
Oh, you can't add it in on the reroll.
Nope. Okay, green feet not
Oh.
terribly bad. So you at this point like you kind of you pick it up, but it jerks around with enough force that you don't you're not able to hurl it like you want. So it kind of slips from your grasp and it's like down at your feet. And at this point, it's lunging in to bite at your leg again.
Mm-hmm.
So would you like to dodge or try to block?
Block again.
Block. Okay. So how are you going to try and block? Are you going to like try to like knee him or something to keep you off, or swat him to try and keep him down, or?
Yeah, like just push his face aside.
Okay. So
Like,
okay.
yeah.
Sure.
That works really well with dogs usually.
Bop him on the nose.
Get a rolled
Yep.
up newspaper? No.
Seriously.
Here we go again.
The dog from hell. Robo dog from hell.
A new queen has been crowned.
So
I am not surprised.
So
to be honest.
it bites down on your leg at this point,
Yeah.
and it hurts. You take 20 points of damage.
Ow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's drawn some blood, and at this point
Yeah.
the light has come on in the back patio, and you see that lady from inside like come out, and she looks at you. It's like, you again.
No, don't I look?
Shotgun.
Don't
Oh,
I
that's
look
right.
like
No,
my?
you look like
She
your
does
normal
not-
self.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
look
so
like
she's
that.
like, oh, interesting. And you see her forearm come open, something pop up and fire at
Oh
you.
no! Oh gosh!
I knew that's, yeah. I knew.
We had a sister for a day.
But we didn't even know.
You can attempt to dodge this if you like, but you are going to be at a minus. Given the fact that the dog is a hold of you, -1 column shift to your agility.
And
So
I gave you
what is-
another reroll.
So what is your agility?
It's
You've got another reroll.
EX20.
So you
Can I try and fly up and dodge?
Yeah. So you're gonna roll at a good, not an EX20.
Okay.
Which means you need a minimum of a 46.
Okay, I'm gonna use some karma.
Okay. How much you gonna use?
I think 30.
Okay. So whatever you roll, you're gonna add 30 to it.
Okay.
Just watch. She's gonna roll a red.
Yep, probably.
Mhm.
That is always my luck. Okay. Nope. Not enough.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so you
I quit.
so you take off and you're like starting to fly, and she fires and nails you, knocking you out cold. Like you hit the ground, just like twitching at this point. And the dog, you're still kind of sentient, but you're like really dazed and out of it. And the dog is like just dragging you by your leg into the house.
Yay.
And you know,
Right.
she kind of peeks up real quick, and you hear like the neighbor opens up, you know, a sliding door, and it's like, what's going on? She's like, you mind your own business. I told you when those people moved in, the Lopez's, that this whole neighborhood was just gonna go to hell. And he's like, ooh, and it's like shuts his door, and like you can hear him kind of grumbling, just something about like that lady, you know, in the background. And she kind of cackles and, you know, pulls you inside. They slap something around your wrists, and you immediately feel really weak.
Great. Okay.
Inhibitor band.
Hold that thought.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy.
So you guys have spent the day at this point making FaceTime at the company at various points in time. Obviously, nobody else is here for the inspection, but you were going around and making sure that, you know, whatever respective duties you have in those departments is being taken care of. Of course, the Aegis Foundation agents are still here, making sure that, you know, the place is safe and secure, and no one's going where they're not supposed to go. They're actually going through routines to make sure, you know, badge checks work the way they're supposed to work, you know, and that they badges come up with the right identity. You know, making sure everybody has the right security clearance that's supposed to be. So they're going through their own system of checks too to make sure that everything is correct. You had a question, Justin?
I did. I was gonna say before we went into the office, he wanted to train a little bit.
Which is fine. Yeah. So
You just kind of jumped ahead, and I didn't want to interrupt him.
Nope, you're fine. So actually, we'll say that you guys did that after the office visit. You guys are at this point kind of working through some frustrations and whatnot. Being at the office and doing this kind of just re-cemented some of the bad feelings you had coming off that party and the impending inspection. A little bit of worry. So, what better way to get past that than to take it out on your resident danger room and
Yeah.
try and get some of that
Didn't
frustration
even
out.
complain about it.
But
join
as you
it
guys
for
are
that.
doing that, you hear an alert from Hyperion. You end up hearing an alert from Mainframe. Mainframe to Hyperion.
Go ahead, mainframe. What is it?
Active ping against the robotic figure you brought in months ago. I have detected a signal here in Strongford.
The signal that matches that came from the robotic unit?
Affirmative.
Let me head to the computer room. And so Hyperion heads over to it. He says, you place it on the main screen with the map.
So he overlays it with a map, and oddly enough, it's very specific. It's like he just points it out and boop. It is at this residency.
I'm gonna follow him out there so I can see the map as well.
Interesting.
What is it?
It's a signal that matches the signal of a robot we obtained when Angler and I were trying to stop a heist, a technological heist from Alpine Technologies.
Is this
That-
the robot we were thinking about giving to Mainframe?
Correct. At least repurposing it to a degree. But its technology seems like there's a match to it, and something gave off a signal. And this is in the Strongford area, or
Yes, it is.
Okay, it's nearby.
maybe we should check it out.
I agree.
You want
And
me to
then-
go grab the others?
Yes, please. Let's get ready.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Sean will run back into the danger room and alert the others.
Okay.
Have I gotten a new suit yet? Have we been able to manage to manufacture a new suit for me?
Yes.
Everyone's
Okay.
got a suit that's attached to one of their new quantum photonic reassemblers.
I'm gonna drop my roll now.
Your roll for what?
Power stunt.
Oh, go ahead.
Nope.
All right. So,
The-
everybody
the
at this
roll
point,
is-
you are getting ready.
You're half-
And how are you getting there? Are you going to go in style, or are you going to step outside and try and teleport blindly?
Does Ixion's ship have some sort of cloaking technology?
It
Anything
does
like
not.
that?
However,
Okay.
you have a light bringer.
True.
Can Lightbringer cloak it?
She
Yeah.
absolutely can make it invisible.
Probably.
Can I make it inaudible? I can't, right? Does it make noise?
That is a part of your power
It's-
stunt.
Well, I
How
can
loud is my ship? Is it?
add
is it?
noise to things. I don't know if I can cloak noise.
Good question. You could try it for a power stunt.
I mean, I'm already not quite finished with my previous power stunt.
Right. So
I
you
mean,
could
how-
probably take
how
it.
loud is
you
my
could
ship,
definitely
though?
you could probably
Yeah.
you could probably take it. You could definitely make it invisible. But there's going to be some noise factor.
How loud is it? I mean, is it like the Jetsons? Or, I mean, or is it like? I mean, but I'm just saying,
it has audible thrust.
So
Now it's not like rocket
You're
thrust
right.
of a jet engine, but it has audible thrust.
Okay.
It's not as loud as me, is what you're saying.
Yes, it is definitely not as loud as you.
Okay. Yeah, then we'd go ahead and take the ship and have Lightbringer cloak it when we head out.
Okay. So, everybody on board the ship and takes off.
You know
Okay.
what? You know what? What I could do is maybe combine that with an illusion, or like maybe a sound illusion of like a jet going over the sky in the area.
There you go.
Do I have to be inside the ship, or can I ride on the outside of it?
The outside of it is completely smooth. So if you want to fall off,
It is tight like unto a dish.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
All right,
I mean, it would be way better if you were inside.
I'll be inside then.
Okay.
If it was a place where I could just like lean up against, I'm not worried about falling off. That's what I was getting at.
Mhm.
And we have electricity rather than glowing stones.
So
Mhm.
you guys are getting ready and taking off. Abby,
Yes.
so you are basically taken into a room. The entirety of this house is set up like it was a 50s set. There's pictures, and there's like antique drawers and dressers. There's a made bed, like everything, and you're kind of like set in one of the bedrooms, sat down, in a chair, tied up, with rope at this point, but you've got these bands around your hands that are sapping you of most of your strength and all of your powers. You've heard of these
definitely-
before. These
This
are
definitely
called
sounds like a horror movie.
inhibitor bands, and the reason why you've heard of them is they're specifically designed to block the powers of superpowered beings.
Okay. And I've probably never had them used on me before.
Oh, you've never had, so this is very scary at this point. This is the first
Mhm.
time you're stuck in the form that you're in, but on top of that, you're powerless to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the old lady at this point, is just kind of walking back and forth down the hallway, And then you end up hearing like the front door come open. And then she goes to the front. She's relaying basically what happened, and you hear some footsteps come walking up, and this individual comes forward. He is in kind of like an orange and black armored kind of outfit. He
A
has
super suit.
yes. Honey has found his super suit. He has a solid orange mask with black outlining that looks like a jack-o'-lantern. He has flames trickling up off his head, but the flames, oddly enough, look slightly pixelated. So they're like it's almost like a high-tech visual of fake flames coming off of his head, but in high def.
Especially with oh no, I don't have my microscopic sight. Never mind.
Yeah, unfortunately don't have a microscopic sight. So he he looks at you. I'll post a picture in a bit in the chat. He turns and he looks at you and he's like, "Ooh, look at this little one." And so
I'm not going to say anything.
So he kind of lifts up your chin and he says, "Interesting. I wasn't aware I would have a bat coming down in my belfry. Not quite literally."
I'm not going to talk. I don't want that lady to know it was me.
And he says, "So, what brings you to my doorstep?" "Oh, come now. We can be friends." "Well, poop. She's not talking." And he kind of turns and looks to her. And the old lady says, "Well, what should I do?" And he says, "Give her the needle." And so from her palm, you see like a needle kind of shoot out.
Can I like scoot away at all?
I mean, you can try and scoot and whatnot. And he says, "Why don't you give her the tea formula? That might liven her up a bit." And so she says, "Oh, very well," and jabs it into your thigh at this point. It's basically like a long, like obsessively long. Like it doesn't need to be that long. It's clearly long for intimidation purposes. It only goes in so far on a human. And you hear like a silent pfft, as something is injected into you. And he says, and he's like, "Well, we'll give it about 15 minutes or so, given her, what she looks like. Is the coffee on?" And she says, "Oh, I'll go get that." And he says, "Oh, do, go ahead, Mildred, go get the coffee."
Mildred.
When you hear,
Meet George Jetson.
Weird.
Dun 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 dun.
at least your first experience in inhibitor bands, you're still in a solid state. I was literally in a bucket.
Oh, yeah.
That is wonderful.
Actually,
really
you were
sad,
in a
but-
shop vac.
And then
Yeah,
as you're kind of
it
sitting
was
there,
a shop vac. Yeah,
yeah, as you're kind of sitting
Shop
there,
vac.
your head starts getting kind of dizzy, and you start feeling not comfortable because you're still kind of alarmed at the situation, but very compliant.
Oh dear. Okay.
And so he starts looking at you while he's waiting for the coffee, and he's like, "Oh, well, it looks like it's worked a little bit faster than anticipated." He says, "You can thank the CIA for this little concoction." And so, and he says, and he looks and he says, "Now tell me, what is your name?"
Can I like make a roll against the poison or just
You certainly can. You can make a PR4 roll to resist.
Okay. So that's I just type in !! roll PR.
Yeah.
Okay. Not that it's gonna do anything, but we'll see.
Just got another reroll.
Oh,
Yep.
thank you.
Gotta help all our new sis.
Well, I hate to be a bearer of bad news, but can we not give to the same? Or how many times can we redeem in a night?
Oh, there's limits. You'll know it when you hit it.
Oh, okay.
Because it'll basically say that it's
You can't award anymore.
yeah.
for
So
the
basically,
second.
it'll tell you that like it's.
Oh,
it's
okay.
been
I
all
couldn't
used
remember
up.
if it was just. I thought that was an internal.
So what'd you get?
A
White.
white feet, so we're
White feet.
back to
Okay.
At least you're consistent.
So
Yeah. Very.
So what is your name? That you're at this point, you're willing to comply with pretty much any question
Right.
he's giving you.
Right. I just wanted to roll so to see if I could
Sure.
resist. Komori.
Oh, that's rather interesting. You're a bat, named after a bat. Ha! I didn't ask for your superhero name, though, my dear. What is your full name? What's on your birth certificate?
Komori Alice Rostenkowski.
And so he kind of pauses and he says, "No way. That's not exactly
Yes.
a Jewish name, now, is it? That's more Japanese."
Yes.
Curiouser. So that must explain why you're in the neighborhood. You missed your destination by 2 doors, I'm afraid.
I'm aware.
Oh, so you happened to stop by on purpose. And so he hangs his head out the door and he says, "Did she happen to stop by for Girl Scout cookies? We are dreadfully low." And Mildred's like, "Oh, I won't shoo them away next time. See that you don't. I need my Thin Mints."
I agree with the villain here. Thin Mints are life.
Oh, boy.
You need Samoas.
Don't
And
those
he's-
have
He's
coconut
like,
on
yeah,
them?
I need Samoa Thin Mints.
Yeah. And so,
Good one.
so as he's sitting there, he takes another chair and sits it down like right in front of you, but backwards, so he can prop his his arms up on the rest, and he says, "So you're looking for Alice as well?"
What do you mean as well? And yes.
Well, as well is a term in the English language that usually indicates that it's indicative of something. I'm drawing a blank. You look like you have a big brain. Answer it for me.
It means you're looking for her too, but why?
Oh, now that's the $10 million question now, isn't it? Why are you looking for her, outside of being some sort of a relationship? Wait, you didn't get married to her now, did you? You look a
No.
little young.
Yes.
Is that yes that you got married to her? Because
No.
from what I
said
understand, that's not allowed.
No. I did not marry her. But I am young.
So could you clarify for me a bit?
She's my mom.
What? His mask actually goes with his expression at this point. He says, "You have got to be kidding me. She gave birth to
No.
you? That's quite fascinating."
Mm-hmm. I didn't always look like this, though.
Oh, victim of circumstance or by birth?
Circumstance.
Oh, that's rather dreadful. Unfortunately, you're not in the hip crowd then. Those deviants are all the rage.
Nope. Not in the hip crowd, especially looking like this.
So she had a little girl, did she? That complicates
Obviously.
things a bit. But it makes things interesting. He's kind of like pontificating in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of turns and he looks around and he says, "Well, poop, we have interlopers." Do sit down. I'll have tea served to you in a moment. And you see he like reaches in his back
I don't drink tea.
and pulls out, he literally from nowhere pulls out a rifle.
Oh. I would say she probably backs up.
I mean, you can lean a little bit back, in
Yeah,
a chair.
that's all I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So you guys come flying up at this point. Obviously not seen by the neighborhood. It's a nice, quiet neighborhood, presumably.
Except for the sound of.
A low-flying jet came by not too long ago, but people didn't really pay it much heed. It's jet.
Mhm.
Gotcha. So we're in front of just this house in an unassuming neighborhood? Or...
Yeah, it is literally a very unassuming neighborhood.
Okay. All right. Slyn Hyperion goes, we detected the homing location from the homing beacon from this location, this particular house.
Can we do a scan?
I can do an empathy scan.
See how many individuals you can detect inside.
Let us find out.
Can I? Do I have an infrared scanner? Because I was set up for biology. I could set up. I mean, would I be able to tell how many life forms are inside? Or do I have like an infrared scan
you
for
could
on my ship?
You could certainly do it.
Like what sort of scanner?
No, because
do I
the
have
vessel
on
is a science vessel, so you don't. IR and that sort of thing is more advanced for military tech.
Okay. So the only thing that
it's
I'd
not
be able
that
to
you
scan
can't
for is
install
like
it.
maybe
You've
like,
got a bunch of big brain brothers and sisters, so that's that's hardly an issue. That's tech that you could find nowadays.
Oh, Abby's rubbing off on you.
oh my gosh, Brittany's like, no. She's like, no,
Dude.
I am the queen.
So Brittany,
Dice roller
I'm not
is
rubbing
jacked.
off on anyone.
So Lightbringer at this point kind of focuses and she detects all the things, and you get like this headache for a moment as you get information overload and pick up the thoughts and emotions of
The neighborhood.
of 100 people easily, many of which who are currently enjoying Monday Night Football and cheering on a team or whatnot. So it's just like,
I think I need another Advil.
Brad, get to you again.
Failure.
I told you
Xenofreeze,
guys, water
you
to
have-
aspirin.
Xenofreeze, do you have any instruments that can detect what's inside the house?
I unfortunately do not have anything that would scan.
Will our
infrared
medical
or anything.
scanner do it?
Yeah, would the
would
med
need to-
scanner go through building materials?
I believe you would need to be close up to to the individuals you're trying to scan. It would not
Oh,
scan.
scan range 10 feet.
Correct. You have to be nearby.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to adjust that for our own purposes.
Something to work on. At
Yeah.
this point, let's continue on foot. Lightbringer, can you cloak us as we approach?
I can try.
So, are you dropping down in the front of the house or in the back of the house?
Let's go for the front.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want the dog.
We don't know about the dog.
I know.
That didn't actually. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yellow.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you're
yellow
fine.
feet.
Yeah, you guys drop down in a relative safe distance into the front yard.
So do I portal us there, or do we just jump?
I don't know. I wasn't clear on what it was you were doing, so it sounded like you guys just
What-
jumped down.
Yeah, we're low enough.
Okay.
Yeah, we can
Where
just jump down.
Did we leave the ship on the roof? Or in the
No,
front
you
yard?
did not park on the roof, but it is hovering above the house.
Oh, it's hovering. Okay.
Yes. And so long as you remain concentrated on it, it is still currently hidden.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
It,
I mean, that would cause a talk in the neighborhood watch, wouldn't it?
it certainly would, yes. It is generating a low hum of noise, so you might want to do whatever it is you're going to do quickly.
Right.
I mean, wouldn't this house kind of have its own hum of energy?
You think?
Everyone's watching football. They're not hearing a hum.
That is
Right.
correct.
So as we get there, Hyperion goes ahead and tries to generate a photonic copy and just have it kind of peek just in front of the front door, to kind of face through the front door so that his eyes can be in
Sure.
front to see
Okay,
inside.
so you end up making a copy, and as you send it into the door, you see it like break up and pixelate and fall apart.
Okay.
Interesting.
Which
Advanced technology.
that's a first.
Yeah. That I wasn't aware was even possible. They have advanced technology in this location, which makes sense seeing as how the homing beacon matches what we met before. This may be some place that Dr. October or someone he works with resides. His technology could match this. Be prepared. So Hyperion goes ahead and heads towards the front door. Or actually, are there any windows in the front of the house?
Yeah, there are. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, the
can we
curtains
see
are the curtains are drawn shut, but yeah, there's obviously windows in the front too.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
Angler
here.
is by his side.
Okay.
I'll hang back.
All right. So he's going to go to the front door. Let's see. And first places ear to the door to see if there's any obvious sounds coming from inside.
You can hear a slight hum,
Okay.
but you have to be up close to the house to hear it.
Got it. Okay.
You know what? If this thing is working off advanced tech, why not just kill the power?
If the power is from outside, that might work.
I can try to overload it.
Someone of this magnitude likely has backup generators.
That would make sense. It would likely be within the premises or underneath.
But it might give us enough time to get in.
Shown, with your ability to manipulate electricity, can you also detect electrical currents at range, or can you only project them?
Can I, Jerome?
That is a great question. Do you have electrical manipulation?
I don't think so.
Then that would be a no.
I'm going to have to get that. I only have generation.
All right.
Oh, wait, no, I do have manipulation. I do. It's a FB, though.
It's
I
a
need to
what?
work on that one. It
Feeble.
says, feeble.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not the greatest at it, but I can give it a shot.
All we're looking for is where the main power source is. If it's outside, we can track it. If it's inside, we'll have to improvise.
Okay. I'm going to put 25 karma on this roll.
Okay. Let it rip.
This is not yesterday. That is for darn sure.
Yeah, 39. Yeah, that's not going to do it.
Okay.
Yep.
So as you guys are,
I think this bot is
so as you guys are kind of
against
debating
us.
like what it is you're going to do, and you're trying to focus, and unfortunately your ability to manipulate electricity like on that level, like you said, it's very dormant. So you just don't have the ability like you would hope to sense or manipulate anything. That's definitely something you're going to want to try and improve if you seek to do that in the future.
Oh, yes.
The door comes flying open, however, and Dr. October is standing there with a really large gun, and he ends up saying, "Hello, honey, I'm home."
Heat emission on the gun.
So you're going to attack?
It looks like he's coming out attacking us.
Everybody give me a intuition check. Angler is attacking. Go ahead and roll for your agility.
Intuition. Okay. Monstrous is what?
MN.
MN.
Oh yeah, now I get a red feat.
Green.
It didn't roll mine for some reason.
That's because you typed
You
it in
didn't say
wrong.
roll. It's got to be exclamation point. Roll.
Okay, my bad.
And you don't need the number.
Yeah. And where do you have AM46?
Because
It's
I forgot
AM50.
to update it on one part.
Nice.
Well,
Nice.
AM is minimum of 50, but yeah.
That the heat emission is to disable the weapon, sir.
So you launch out and zap and zap with your basically you see this searing emission of heat energy fly off from Angler as he acts instinctively when the door gets thrown open. What is your power rank's 50? Never mind. So you and you have an agility of 50, Justin?
40 right now. 40 minus 2. That's gonna put me at excellent.
Okay, so that should have been rolled off of excellent. Still, I'll keep the roll, but keep that in mind when you're attacking projectiles. It's off of your agility.
Okay.
So you end up sending those of you who made your intuition check. He didn't actually raise his weapon. He has it in front of him. Angler fires energy. You see most of it get dissipated off of a barrier that he has set up in front of him. You can see the gun getting a little hot, and he's like, "Oh no, you don't. I am what the kids call hip to what it is you do. We've already sparred once, young man. And if the rest of the legacy would kindly look behind you."
I'm afraid to.
And you can
I will
see that there are red
turn
beams
around.
coming from nowhere, focused on you guys. Now we can do the superhero-y thing and fight amongst these middle-class citizens. I'm sure they're insured for it, of course. Just let me know if you wish to go knockabout.
These beams, they're like just like as if there's like red dots or something that are on each of us.
Yeah,
Okay.
just laser beams from like some sort of weapon that has a laser sight.
Okay, gotcha.
This may
are
be a
you-
little unorthodox, but may we come in?
You, my dear, I have not met. I kind of like your style. Do come in.
Thank you.
I'm gonna look at the others and kind of shrug.
Yeah.
I'll sub-vocalize. We should take this opportunity, but be ready.
Duly noted.
And I will shake his hand or offer to shake his hand.
No, okay, so he's like, "Oh, no. We're not quite ready for a physical contact. Although you're quite shapely. Perhaps the second date."
Your name's not Brad, is it?
He's like, looks around and he says, "Brad? Oh, you must mean Brad Pitt. Oh, of course not. I do not look nearly as good at Legends of the Fall."
I will step inside
And walk this way.
cautiously.
You and me, babe. Hey. So he lets everybody walk inside. There is a woman going about her routine, and she looks and gets a little disgusted, and she's like, "I'll go get more cups of tea." And she says, "Our guest isn't drinking, and our other guest isn't drinking." And he says, "Oh, that's quite all right. Don't worry about her. Maybe tea isn't her thing. Perhaps try soda."
So, have you lived in this neighborhood long?
He says, "Oh, no, of course not. But I do keep up on my HOA, if that's what you're inquiring about."
Dr. October,
That
Why-
is my name. Don't wear it out, Punky.
why are you here?
I thought it's quite obvious.
Do you
I take it
literally
it's not.
live here?
Oh, no, heavens, no. It goes against my black and orange costume. This is way too Leave It to Beaver for my tastes.
Then why are you here?
You're certainly
Girl.
asking a lot of questions all of a sudden.
I'm just curious. Knowledge is power.
Ah, of course it is. Unless you challenge the IRS. I may go against Monarch any day of the week, but challenge the IRS? No way.
Fair enough.
There was a beacon that led us here, similar to the technology that you used in the heist that happened a few months ago against Alpine Technologies.
Oh, that's where that little unit went to. You little rat bastards.
We weren't the ones who stole technology.
Oh, of course. I'm not saying you stole that technology. You stole my technology. Tomato, potato.
These voices, I love them.
You could also say finders keepers, and you left it behind.
Oh, of course. Then I declare finders keepers. Alpine Technology just needs to like it or lump it.
Did you find what you were looking for?
Unfortunately, no. Hence the fact I had this location here.
And what you're looking for is procurable in
Dr.
the
Rostenkowski.
What?
So he hits
You're-
a button. He hits a button on his wrist, and a voice pops up. Dr. Rostenkowski. What he said.
That's who you're looking for?
So he kind of looks back and forth, and he says, "I am detecting a slowness of bandwidth between you."
And who is this doctor?
She is a master geneticist.
And she lives in this neighborhood?
She used to. I
A
did debate on
geneticist.
taking her house. It is quite lovely.
Why
Is
do
it
you
more
need a master
suited to-
geneticist?
And what sort of
So real quick, Jerome, while this is going on, I'm going to try and communicate with the girl telepathically.
You actually do not know she's here.
Oh, I thought she was like visibly present.
No, she is not. She's
No, you
Okay,
just
never
I'm in
mind
a
then.
bedroom.
She is in a bedroom at this point.
I apologize, then I didn't mean to cut people off.
No, you're fine.
If you mention in the communicator that they're like that you're wondering about the other person, then I could do a empathy check in the house.
but we don't know there's another person.
No, he
we
just
have no
said
idea.
she
Let's say
just said
something
our
about you.
guest. Yeah, he said the
Yeah,
guest would.
he did
would
indicate
drink
there was a
tea.
guest
Oh.
here, yeah.
Oh,
But if I mean I don't know that I would think about that.
Light, yeah,
If
well,
Justin
I
thinks about that,
light bringer. Just gonna say not vocally, so that we're not caught by surprise. Can you try again and see how many bodies? Are you able to detect non-bodies too?
You're smart enough to know that's a no. You're fortunate to actually pick up Hyperion by emotions because of his advanced AI.
I will do an empathy check.
Okay.
So why are you needing this doctor?
She has information I
Oh.
lack. That's what most doctors have, don't they?
94.
Okay.
Oh,
And then he
yeah.
kind of looks at you for a second, and you see like a little, eyeglass kind of come over, and he looks down and he says, "Oh, interesting. You're not human."
Who are you
Who's he?
talking to?
You, young lady, you were the one asking the question.
I'm not human.
Again with the slow bandwidth.
I'm
Does your
flesh and
brain
blood.
operate on AOL?
I'm flesh and blood. I don't know what AOL is. I'm flesh and blood.
He says, "Oh, you are definitely flesh and blood, but your genetic makeup is not human."
You can see my genetic makeup.
With this technology,
Yeah,
yes.
and he's like looking around.
It's similar to our It's similar to the biometric scanners.
Jerome, what is he? Does he have like a pumpkin head or something?
Yeah, he does. Not like a pumpkin head. If you saw the picture, I mean, if you
I
go
was
into the
looking
chat,
for it.
it's there. But
Where did you?
it was
post that?
it posted in the Facebook chat.
Yeah.
Today?
No, a while back.
A little bit ago.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
it must have been before my time.
It was actually, I think.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I'll post it back in there.
Meanwhile, my character is thinking, why are we arguing with this character?
'Cause
Justin is thinking, this is just the Joker. Talking to him is not going to help us.
it's called wasting time so we could come up with a plan.
Yeah, Davy Jones. I'll post something up in Facebook too. 1 second. Do. Yoink.
Mhm.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I remember
so
that
he's
guy.
got like a flaming pumpkin
Oh,
thing, kind of like a Ghost Rider thing going on.
Yeah.
He's
gotcha.
got very pointy shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you have a lead on this doctor?
He says, "I'm the doctor,
N-
Doctor
no,
October.
The other doctor, the one you're looking for.
If I had a lead, why would I be here?"
His lead was the fact that she lived nearby. That doesn't stop the fact that you've committed multiple crimes that you have not paid for.
So he looks around and he says, "Well, if you provide a bank account, I'd be happy to cough up a few coins."
You know clearly that's not what I mean. The way the criminal pays is through the legal system.
Okay, so
Oh, of course.
telepathically, I'm going to ask Lightbringer. Did you detect anybody?
Oh yeah, Jerome, I got a red
You
result.
detected a now pretty calm individual who has concerns but is oddly okay with it. It's very weird.
I will relay what I am detecting, but I'm going to turn to our host
Mm-hmm.
and say, I beg your pardon. I know this is extremely unorthodox, but can I use your restroom?
I love you.
And he says, "Oh, where are my manners? Of course, it's 2 doors down on your left."
Is that also towards the
Yeah.
presence?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I'm going to head down the hallway.
Okay. So as you are walking down the hallway, you end up seeing it's looks like a kind of a robotic figure, maybe about 5 feet high, kind of on the short side, clunky looking one. It has not full fingered hands, but like almost kind of like a mitt sort of look. Like it can grip things, but not like fine detail. And then the other arm has like kind of like a looks like it may project energy of some kind. So it looks like it's standing next to a doorway.
And the door is closed.
No, the door is open.
Wait, is it? So it's in the hallway, or is it in
It's
the?
in the hallway.
Okay. Can I attempt to move past, not into the room, but like move past the guard?
Yeah.
And kind of.
You'll have to side shuffle, but yeah, you can.
Glance in the room as I pass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see. You know what? I'll tell you what. Abby, why don't you describe what you look like?
Oh, okay. Well, the basic of it is I look like a human bat, like Man Bat from Batman, but the female version. And she's actually pretty small, sort of bat. She's only like 5'3". So
Your
she's
woman bat.
woman bat. She
Wom-
I'm a horrible human being, by the
Wombat.
way.
Wombat. Ah, ha, ha.
Derek
She-
always has the good ones.
That was Brittany. I said woman
Oh,
bat.
she doesn't look very old. She looks really young, like
She's just.
18 or 19.
Is she wearing clothing?
Yes.
Yes.
And she's
Like-
just
like
sitting
casual
thoughtfully in a
clothing.
chair? What clothing?
Casual clothing.
And
She's-
she's just.
She's tied to the chair right now, and she has an inhibitor cuff on her.
Okay, so she's tied.
Yes.
Okay, I will go into the bathroom
Okay.
and make some bathroom shuffling around noises
Okay.
as I communicate to.
She's sitting there like,
Not the bathroom noises.
She's like, I can make an illusion with sound. I'm going to recreate Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, exactly.
Lightbringer really trying to sell it there.
At least it takes my mind off of what else I was thinking about.
As I communicate to the group.
turns out, I know this is another odd request. Do you have any Pepto?
Yeah.
She's gonna come out and go, do not go in
I was
there.
just thinking
Yeah.
about that. She comes walking out like Ace Ventura. Do not go in there. Woo! And hits the pocket on her breast, and water like shoots up out of the pocket.
Yeah.
So I'm going to communicate to the group
Okay.
that there is a bat person tied to a chair with inhibitor cuffs. How should we proceed?
I will subvocally say that's evidence that he's kidnapped somebody. We arrest him now. And so then Hyperion says, it's come to our attention that you've kidnapped a person and are holding them in this premises.
Oh, no,
Is this
I have
true?
not. I have detained an intruder.
Detained an intruder.
I am within my lawful rights, as you so put it.
Were you in your
committed
lawful rights?
so many other crimes.
Were you in your lawful rights when you've performed multiple burglaries and attacks in multiple buildings, including the Quantum Unlimited Tower.
Indeed, I did.
What are the Colorado intruder laws? Does anyone know?
I don't know offhand, but dealing with an intruder in this particular case, this is probably the one instance he's probably right.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I would assume that you've called the local law enforcement.
Property, does that mean that you can detain and I don't know.
We're getting a little deep into the laws.
All right. In any case,
not worried about that right now. So, but that's what you relayed. Let me get back to Derek's question. So, repeat what it was you're saying.
I said, so if this person was illegally trespassing, I assume, then you have called the local law enforcement.
I haven't gotten to that point just yet. I'm trying to find out why exactly she attacked my dog. She unplugged his butt. Rather rude.
This is quite an odd conversation.
Unplugged his butt?
Why are we doing this?
Because, young man, they are being civil.
Can I try
You very much are a villain. Civility would be you saying, here's a pair of inhibitor cuffs. I put them on for you. Let's go.
Oh, of course, of course. Only in America. If we were in Argentina, wouldn't you be the villains? Moral quandary.
Human right violations is a moral quandary to you. Yeah. Your silence.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking of a good comeback, but I was thinking of what the kids might say. So I believe it's talk to the hand.
Intelligent. A little slow on the bandwidth, aren't you?
And so he does this to him.
Jerome, can I attempt telepathy with the interloper?
Sure. Go ahead. She's not resistant at this point, so just get anything other than a white result.
Don't tell me that.
Get anything other than a white result.
Oh, red 98. Holy
I'll tell you my whole life story.
She's like, it was a cold day. My mother started contracting. You know?
TMI.
Okay, so I will reach out mentally to I don't know, technically speaking, how I find somebody that I'm not familiar with.
We're gonna call her the Wombat from now on.
Wombat. I love
look
it.
like a wombat. I'm a woman bat.
I will reach out to her and say, "Are you injured?"
Yes. The dog bit me.
Do you require medical attention?
Not a hospital, but some bandages and some antibiotics.
We're going to try to get you out of here.
Maybe a tetanus shot.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of.
Hyperion would subvocalize real quick. Hyperion would subvocalize to Shone. Shone, when you entered the premises, did you feel nauseous, like when you do when you're in an anti-teleport field?
Did I, Jerome?
No, you did not.
No, I did not.
And then he goes, she may be the ticket to having her escape immediately. See if you can make your way to where Lightbringer is and then teleport the individual outside, possibly onto the ship.
I will subvocalize. There is a robot guarding the door.
excuse me, Mr. Pumpkin.
It's Dr. October.
Dr. October. I kind of had a little bit too much soda on the way over here. Can I go in and use the restroom also,
It
please?
is currently occupied.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to knock on the door and make her hurry.
You'll have to wait until she gets out on her own, dear. Apologies.
But I really got to go.
I do believe there's a dance for that sort of thing.
And that's what I'm doing.
Dr. October, you need to relinquish that individual to us so that we will take her into the authorities.
Then let's make a deal.
Which will be?
I require some information, and I think you might, of all people, benefit from it as well.
What makes you say that exactly?
So he kind of looks around real quick and he goes.
He steps forward a little
So
bit.
he leans in and he actually whispers and he says, "You know, for a life model decoy, you're not half bad."
Your detection equipment is impressive. So you know what I am then.
That's why I'm whispering. I don't know if they know who you are. I didn't want to give up your secret identity.
Noted. And it's interesting that you're aware of Dr. Rostenkowski and need her expertise beyond anybody else's. There
It's
are
not
other
her expertise
geneticists.
that I need. It's her knowledge that I need. Information is
Knowledge.
power, as the young lady said.
Then what exactly
What-
you're trying to determine? What knowledge?
She may have some information on those Shadestone individuals.
You have some sort of gripe with Shadestone.
Oh, who doesn't?
Well, then what's yours in particular?
He says, we don't give out secret identities. Not here. And you hear in the background.
Therefore, perhaps you worked at Shadestone before.
Let us just say when we crossed paths, it was not pleasant. And it didn't turn out in my favor.
So you got fired.
He kind of looks at her again and he's like, and then you hear bandwidth noises in the background and he looks back to Hyperion. Like that calling the internet sort of thing, like
Right.
dang, dang, dang.
I'm gonna sub-vocalize. Should I come out, or is there something else you need me to try?
So vocalize, go ahead and come back so that Shone can make her play.
Okay, so I will run the water for a minute, and then you come back.
Okay.
Flush several times.
Turn on the fan.
Okay. So you come walking back. And he's
I
like,
mean, it's added interference. So,
you come walking back, and he's like, "Good Lord, woman, what did you eat?"
Can I go now?
Oh, of course, it's open and available. You may want to pinch your nose. She was in there for quite some time.
Mm. So she's going to kind of prance out of sight
Okay.
and then make her way down the hallway.
Sure.
And she's not going to enter conventionally. She's going to teleport into the bedroom. She's going to bypass the robot.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and give me an endurance check.
Okay.
that
If I
doesn't
roll a
bode well.
white, I'm going to hurt both of you.
Play some karma. Add some karma.
What is your
Incredible.
okay.
Incredible. You need at least a 30
Incredibly.
to not have a white.
Incredible.
Hey, friends.
Woo.
I should probably step out now. But thank you all so much for letting me observe. It's been fun.
Oh, no problem,
Awesome.
Brad.
Good having you, Brad.
Yeah, thanks for stopping
Yeah.
by.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are fun to watch.
Okay.
Hopefully you'll join us.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, look forward to next time.
Okay.
I'll see you next week.
Hey, you too.
Yeah.
Good luck with that bathroom.
Yeah.
Right.
So what'd you get,
Might
Shelly?
want to try some fiber in your diet. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I got a yellow.
Yellow result. Okay.
Yeah, thanks
My
again.
my,
No
my
problem.
next play was gonna claim like lady trouble or something, and then I thought I don't know if I want to go there.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so Shone, as you go with your teleport at this point, you see temporarily like the whole house flicker red, kind of like in like a video kind of hex grid, like something kind of bang, hit it. Shone, you are projected out onto the front lawn, and you like fall like on your backside. And at that point, Dr. October's looking around and he says, "Why, I never! That is the first time anybody's been ejected from my toilet." Here I am being civil, and you're the ones attempting to be dirty. He's like, almost quite literally. Here I am attempting to negotiate in good faith and invited you into my home. And now you have a rat sitting on my front lawn. And he's like, did she remember to wipe? That is unsanitary.
Dr. October. If you don't relinquish the individual to us, we will take her, and then we will incarcerate you as well, unless we're able to get through this civilly, in which case...
I was attempting to be civil, Punky. You're the ones who attempted to thwart me. Inadvertently, I might add.
That
Thwart
is
you
true.
implies that you did something wrong in the first place.
I'm
He wants to do
implying
this
that you
civilly.
think.
I want to punch your face in.
No, I don't particularly care about that. We've already seen that you require the pill. Your heat didn't go over quite as well as it should have.
So
I am
the
a
point
doctor.
we're
I can
making-
prescribe you performance enhancers if you so need.
So what we need, since he's trying to do this civilly, is the hostage you have, or we're going to do this the other way.
Well, we've already established she is not a hostage. And secondly, if you were to do that, you would be affecting a couple hundred individuals within this neighborhood, in the very least. Very unheroic.
Actually, I do. She is a hostage.
That
She
is a
one
negative.
Being held against. She's being held against her will, though she
is an intruder. I'm sorry, you're all rather confusing in attempting to interject at any one given time. Isn't it a nomenclature, or rather proper form for one of you to be a leader? And he kind of looks at Shone for a second. He says, hopefully it's not you.
What information exactly do you need? You said it had to do with Shadestone, but what is it?
Oh, dirty underhanded dealings, of course.
So you believe that they are actually performing criminalistic activities?
No, I don't believe. I know. I'm just seeking the proof.
What exactly do you believe they've done? If we knew that, we could try to locate the evidence.
He says, oh, I hadn't considered that.
I wouldn't mind taking Shadestone down myself.
He says, well, amongst some of their other particular crimes, they did poison an individual.
Who?
What was it? It's Amy Cook, is it not?
Yes.
That's what I thought. A young woman by the name of Amy Cook. See, what some of you don't know is military labs have developed a potentially lethal strain of injectable cancer.
FYI, you guys would have seen the evidence of that also. So Mark would have read that, so he
Okay.
would definitely know everything that that Jurgen sent us, which I expect is probably a lot.
Injectable cancer. And they used this bioweapon on Amy Cook.
Of course.
But why would they kill her like that?
That I don't know. Another high-valued question. But they certainly did, and that would be highly against the law in the United States of America.
What interest is it to you?
Because it's one of many Shadestone's crimes.
You've been known to attack multiple high-tech firms in the area, including Shadestone. Why would you attack the other firms if your gripe is just with one?
Because they all had dealings with Shadestone.
Real quick, I have a question. Has Dr. October been known to only attack more corrupt people than himself?
No.
Or does he actually attack innocents?
No one's ever been able to make that play. He's just he's a typical high-tech villain. He doesn't attack random people, if that's what you mean. But anything he does is involves high-tech targets.
I'm just making sure we're not looking at someone who is supposed to be an anti-hero and no one's put it together yet.
No, sure, that's fine.
It's possible.
Like a cross between the Joker and the Punisher, basically, is what I'm asking.
Right.
Yeah, like has he ever done something where like he's robbing a bank, or like the whole he's attacking high-tech targets is his main thing that he does?
Yeah, attacking high-tech targets is always his MO.
Okay.
And in fact, you don't know the specifics. You don't have like a crime computer you can access right now, but you know for a fact that he broke into your offices and didn't lay a finger on anybody. He went after shipping information.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to sub-vocalize. Oh, go ahead, Justin.
No, we knew about that. He specifically determined it at some point. And if I remember, he has eidetic memory.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I pointed out to him.
Okay.
I'm going to sub-vocalize. I don't want him knowing who Amy Cook is, but what would be the problem of giving him at least a little bit of evidence to support Shadestone's underhanded dealings?
So vocal. We would be aiding and abetting a known supervillain. We already have that issue with Jurgen. However, we do know that there's something happening with Shadestone, with your information, and it seems to be corroborating what Dr. October already knows. He knows who Amy Cook is. He knows who Dr. Rostenkowski is. He already knows a significant amount and may have some sort of relation, maybe even more than you know.
We need to know more.
Yeah, like why would he care about
dang
Subvocal, I can't do this. I'm not going to be a part of it. He walks out the front door. He's still continuing to subvocalize.
Yeah.
There are lines we cannot cross. And
we haven't even made a decision, and just cool your jets.
We are literally talking about doing it right now. He walks out the front door.
Okay.
Out of character, how are we sub-vocalizing?
Using the comm links that Hyperion gave everybody, you can sub-vocalize with those as well as speaking out loud, and it'll still work.
So kind of like how Cynet had us all mentally webbed together.
He wasn't there for most of that.
Okay. Yeah, everyone's got and you also would have been given a comm link, just a little earbud that put in your ear, and so if you like kind of speak under your breath without even like opening your mouth, you can sub vocalize and speak so that everybody else can hear what you're saying.
Okay.
Technology-based telepathy web.
Yeah.
Which probably means it's being monitored because we're inside of Dr. October's house.
I mean, maybe.
If not, I just gave Jerome an idea.
Yeah, stop doing that.
And so Hyperion says, if you relinquish the individual to us, I promise you we will be investigating Shadestone immediately to see what we can determine. We have several different avenues to explore. It may take time, but if there's some way to then provide you with that information in a separate third-party location to keep your identity safe and ours as well, that we could pass that to you. What would you be trying to do with this information if you had it?
And so he grips his hand, really hard, like right in front of you. He's like, "I'm going to bring the whole thing down, every nook and cranny."
You want to stop Shadestone, the company as a whole?
Of course. And not just the stock prices either.
So you're wanting to do a heroic thing.
Well, for me to do a heroic thing would indicate that they're villainous.
Many innocent people work there.
And now you're attempting to go into a moral quandary. They should find better jobs.
It is
valid.
part of our job.
No, perhaps the employees should find better jobs.
Well, maybe they don't know what they're. Not all of them would know.
I've presented the terms. Would you accept them, Doctor?
Roll your popularity.
Popularity. That's going to be in the remarkable range. 36. Oh, it actually looks like it's in the incredible range. Nice.
It is.
Okay. Elephant.
Yeller.
All right. He says, you drive a hard bargain, but there's something trustworthy about your face. Perhaps it's the technology. And he wiggles his eyebrows.
Then do you accept?
Very well, of course I accept. Just do me one favor.
What's that?
Make the young lady wipe.
I'll see what I can do. Your captive, please.
I'm out on the lawn.
And so the robot comes, throws the girl up over its shoulder, and he comes walking out. And he says, "Oh, come. Be careful with her. You don't exactly have padding up there on your shoulders."
Is she capable of moving on her own? If not, I can take her.
Oh, of course. In a moment. And so he pulls out like a little, it's a little focused laser, which he severs the ropes. That they just go, and he says, "I'll take this back, thank you." And he takes the inhibitor cup off. And you're starting to feel your strength coming back to you, despite the fact being, drugged and whatnot. So at this point, you have your strength back, but you're still very compliant. Like, this is all really strange, but other people are taking you, and that's okay.
Yep.
That's why Hyperion walks up to you, and Hyperion, he looks like he's in his early 20s. He's about 6 foot tall, muscular build, brown hair, brown eyes, and he's wearing like what each of us is wearing, like a legacy uniform. And so then he walks up to you and he goes, "Miss, are you feeling okay? Can you stand and walk on your own?"
She'll stand up. I feel good, except my leg hurts. The dog bit me.
We can tend to that. My name is Hyperion, by the way. I'm the leader of the Legacy. If you head out front, my compatriots will help you. We'll take you somewhere safe.
And let that be a
Okay.
lesson to you. Do not unplug dogs' butts.
Okay.
Rather uncouth.
That sounds like a very
Doctor October.
specific
Yes,
thing.
my alien friend.
I am curious. I am also a studier of genetics. Would you happen and be willing to part with one of your inhibitor collars?
No, I don't think that would be quite right. You might turn around and plant it somewhere and blame something on me. You lift my fingerprints or something. Probably not the safest
You
bet.
may wipe your fingerprints off of it, I assure you. There are experiments that I wish to do, frankly, on myself.
Oh. Masochist. He
You
says,
might
I'll tell
consider
you
it
what.
that.
Maybe I'll strike you a deal as well. Give me a piece of your own genetic sampling. It's not every day I meet an alien.
What would your purposes be?
The same. I wish to experiment.
Can make our own. No.
I will
would
consider it. But I will not take you up on that offer as it stands right now.
Oh, of course, of course. It was vis-a-vis.
May I contact you in the future? May I contact you in the future?
Absolutely, certainly. Just put your name up on a billboard sign and say that you wish to reach me. I will find it. That's how all the heroes do it these days.
Well,
Thank
as
you.
they say, I know where you live. Or at least where you are currently residing.
Oh, of course. It's one of many. But you can always leave a message with my life model decoy here.
Very well.
Let's get out of here.
Thank you for your time. And then Hyperion escorts everyone else out.
And
As
Sean
you
will
guys are
teleport
escorting him out,
everybody.
He leans outside in motion and says, all right, come on in, boys. It's all over. And you see like 6 drones start marching their way, inside at this point, who had been backed across the street, watching you guys in case something happened. There's like...
Sean's going to teleport everybody into the ship.
Bamf.
He's just...
That's an interesting fellow.
Yeah, that's not what I expected.
I don't think
To
I've
say
ever
the
come
least.
across anybody like that one.
Oh, and Hyperion, you hear on your comm link as you guys are teleporting up to the ship and starting to fly away.
Yeah.
Oh, and your guest is under the effects of TTTTT. It's a CIA concoction. They tell the truth.
When will it wear off?
Oh, in about 30 minutes to an hour.
Great. So now we got to change our bandwidth.
I'm sure that he has the technology to be able to focus onto it in either direction.
Farewell, Doctor.
Hey,
Fare thee well. He tunes out.
as we head out, I'm gonna examine.
Wombat.
Well,
Miss,
You do
what
have
can we
medical
call you?
facilities on the ship.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this is
I give them-
definitely, we've got genetics, and we've also
Yep.
adapted some of this stuff to first aid also, by all means.
but
My name
yeah,
is Komori.
Komori.
what were you doing at Dr. October's house?
following a lead
For what?
to find my mom.
And
Who's
your
your
mom
mother?
is who?
That woman he had there?
No.
The geneticist?
Gladys Kravitz.
My mom is Alice Rostenkowski.
The geneticist.
Yes.
Interesting.
And he knows this,
Now he does. Yeah.
and he let her go. It's interesting.
Do you, perchance, Kamore? I understand this will be perhaps a strange question coming from us all of a sudden. By the way, as I mentioned, we are the Legacy. I am Hyperion. This is Lightbringer, Xenofreeze, Shone, and Angler.
I've heard about you. Seen some things on the news.
Lightbringer, can we scan her to make sure that she doesn't have a tracker or something on her? Because he let her go too easily, especially since he's looking for her mother.
I don't have a way to find a tracker, do I?
No, you do not.
I'll just ask her, do you have a tracker on you? Did he
I
put
don't-
some kind of tech?
I don't think so, but he did shoot me with a really big needle.
Yes, that was a type of truth serum. That should wear off momentarily. In the meantime, do you know then, since you know who your mother was, do you know who your father was?
Nope.
Would you be willing to give me a blood sample? I will destroy it in front of you afterwards if you so choose.
Why do you want some of my blood?
I am also a geneticist, and I can pinpoint certain
Can you change me?
irregularities.
Can you change me back to a human?
I am afraid I do not have that technology as of yet.
Jerome, is she bleeding out of the injury?
A little. It's not like profuse or anything.
No, it's
I
Just above a scab, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I've been able to.
It's
I've
kind
been
of
able
a
to
gnarly
see.
looking dog bite, but it's not like she wasn't ripped around or whatnot. So it's
I'll
not
go
like
ahead and
all over the place.
I'll go ahead
So-
and like wrap it up or whatever.
Sure.
Put stuff on it, wrap it up.
I'm not going to make you
Because
roll.
I've gotten samples of everyone. And have I? Can we take it for granted that I've seen the similarities in our genetics based on our patronage?
There's no taking it for granted. You've got a layout of a genetic
Of-
layout. Obviously, many of them are vastly different from one another.
Right.
But you can identify. It's easy enough. You can identify the marker that identifies your tie to Electrum. Yeah.
Okay. I say, may I? I'm
I
asking,
guess.
please.
She's still compliant, so she would still be saying.
Oh,
sure.
sorry. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
I have some right
take-
here in my leg.
No.
No.
Like,
Wait until she's cognizant.
Because that way it would be of her own actual free will. I understand.
So
We
where
can
are
do-
you guys flying to?
Kamore, do you have a residence somewhere nearby?
Not nearby per se, but I do live downtown. Right? Downtown?
No, you actually live in Fairside.
I live in Fairside.
should we take her to the abandoned amusement park?
Ooh, that sounds fun.
We can. That would be most likely close to where she lives. We can also get her a cab if she needs.
I don't need a cab.
I'll say, have
Do
you seen?
you have wings?
Yeah, I have wings on my arms like a bat.
Have you
I
seen
am
Sledgehammer?
quite literally a humanoid bat.
Have you seen Sledgehammer around?
Yeah.
So he's doing okay. That's good.
He seems to be quite the
So what
hero.
else? What else are you able to do?
Oh. I can make myself invisible. Great. Now I have to like give everything.
We're gonna stop this line of thinking. She is. You're
Should
not
we,
going to take advantage of someone like this.
I'm not taking
I
advantage
do-
of
I
her. I'm
do
just
agree.
asking her a
Yes.
question.
Yes,
I
you
can-
are.
But she is
I can
required to
Unfortunately,
answer.
due to her,
I
she's under
have
the influence of a
sonar.
narcotic
Yeah,
that is a lot of. Please
I
stop.
have-
No,
Please stop.
you don't have to tell me
Please
anything.
stop.
Yeah. This is not
Please
something
wait.
that you would discuss with strangers. So, yeah, just
In the meantime,
Stay
let's
quiet.
see what we can do about your injury. And Hyperion goes and gets a medical scanner, and he goes ahead and uses that, and also sees if he can use that for like finding the genetic markers in Komore that would match like being a part of Electrum.
Sure, go ahead.
P.S. How do you spell your name, Abby?
It's Komori. Komori.
Komori.
I only know how to spell it because it's up on the stream.
Oh, I'm not on the screen today. I didn't want to chance.
So for using the scanner, is that a reason roll?
Yes.
Okay, I don't have any medical things.
Yep.
It's
The wound is all
it's
bandaged
a-
up, though.
It's a 1-column shift up.
Yep.
Oh, okay, nice.
For the scanner.
Let's make that monstrous for me. Green feet.
Okay. So you make the scan, and in fact, she's not even deviant.
Okay.
From what you can tell, however, there is some sort of weird markup. It actually is similar to the meta active that you've been hearing about.
Okay. Does she have any of the like Electrum-esque genetic markers?
Nope.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Interesting. And then I sub-vocalize so that she doesn't hear. The scanner is not picking up any markers that relate to Electrum. And also, she's not a deviant. She appears to be meta-active instead.
Fascinating.
And then he turns to Kimura and says, once you feel better and feel more cognizant and can be of your
I
own
feel
mind,
great.
understandable, we'll make sure that you get to your residence. But in the meantime, we'll have questions for you later. Is there any way we can reach you? Do you have a phone number or anything like that?
I have my building phone number. Or I work at a gas station.
You don't have your
Quickie
own
Mart.
phone then?
No. I'm kind of homeless.
You work at the Quickie Mart?
Yeah.
In Fairview?
Yeah.
Oh,
Fair
Not if it is.
Fair
Do we know where that is?
Do not divulge any sensitive information, but how is it that you hide your appearance as you are now versus when you are working in the convenience store?
I can't divulge that. You guys don't.
Duly noted. I would assume then it is part of your ability set that it allows you to conceal that.
Yes.
I too have similar features or similar abilities. Because right out of character, when you're looking at me, you see me in a suit, but you can see that my skin looks like mercury. Like I literally look like the T-1000 from Terminator, like that silver Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like everything is shaped, but there's no coloration to it at all.
Right.
Can I like try and poke him? Because
Of course.
I'm gonna poke you. Like,
It doesn't move like flesh. It's like whoop,
yeah, it like
Yeah.
very liquid.
a little bit, not quite like liquid. A little bit more like gel
Well,
right now.
Gel.
The only
mean-
the only point that you could actually see of my flesh is on my face. But I put my face forward. You may.
Okay, like
There's
my
no
wings
skeleton.
probably hang down a little bit. Like,
There's
you're
no
like
skeleton.
slime. Like, how are you standing? Shouldn't you just be like a little blob?
It's a long story.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to be get into sensitive. And she pokes you again.
Hey, is Lorraine still in charge at the Quickie Mart?
Yes.
Is it it's not still getting robbed like 3 times a week, is it?
No.
That's great. Hey, how have things been in Fairside since the wall came down?
I haven't been there for very long, but it's starting to get bad again.
Really? Is there like a new boss?
I don't know. I stay out of it.
And you don't know anything about the I don't know, gangs or anything?
I did covertly help the police capture some people, but they weren't from Fairside. They just ran to Fairside.
Hmm.
Interesting.
I don't do that very often, but
Kamari, I'm gonna give you my my number. Just find something to write it down on. And you can contact me if somebody like Pumpkinhead comes around again.
In fact, if you could, please contact us tomorrow. We'd like to discuss this with you as well. We may have some information related to Dr. Rostenkowski, but you need to be in a better state
you
of
know
mind.
where my mom is? She's
would
been
be-
gone for years.
Yes, I know. It would be better to discuss that when you're in a full, more cognizant state. I hope you understand.
I think so.
So you guys, it doesn't take long to fly to the abandoned fairgrounds that are here.
Yeah,
so-
and Shone will teleport her down.
Okay.
Before,
Oh, I can fly.
before she leaves, Hyperion goes, you mentioned you were homeless. You have no place to sleep currently?
Well, I do, but it's illegal.
Then instead of that, and Hyperion goes into his own wallet and he pulls out like $300 and hands that to her in cash and says, "For now, stay in a nice motel in the area and use their phone to contact us tomorrow."
I can't take your money.
You can. You're not stealing it, and I have plenty. Please.
Okay.
This is a gift. This is not a loan. You never need to pay this back. Use this to stay safe for the next few days, especially tonight. And call us tomorrow, please.
Okay. Am I in trouble?
On the
No.
contrary, we might be able to help each other. We'll talk again tomorrow. Trust us.
Of course I trust you.
We'll see how that works tomorrow. And then, go right ahead.
And
Yeah.
Shone teleports her down. Poof, like in an instant, you are down at the abandoned amusement park. It's here in Fairside.
I
Um,
could have fly. I can fly,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah, but not out of the ship. This and I don't think you should
don't-
be flying in your state.
Oh.
Why don't you stay on the ground tonight?
Oh. Walking is such a pain.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know.
She does have a bum foot.
Would you rather? Well, I don't know where you live, so
Maybe just like find her a motel.
Can I like tell them where I live? Because I'm completely compliant.
Yeah, I mean, you can if you want.
Yeah, I
The
do. I tell you where I live.
Okay.
do you want me to walk with you?
Sure.
Okay, so she's gonna tell them sub vocalize.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with her and make sure she gets to the motel, and then I'll teleport home.
Understood. Well done. We'll see you at the vein.
Okay.
Okay. So as we're wrapping up, so the direction she ends up taking you on, because she told you where she lives, so she takes you right to the apartment she's staying at.
So Shone kind of understands because Shone kind of was staying at places illegally and stealing.
Yep. So yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like she takes you to where she actually lives, not to the hotel.
Okay. Well, Shone will make sure she gets to a hotel.
Yeah. So okay, no problem. So at that point, when you realize where it is you're going, and she shows you where she lives, you're like, oh no. We're supposed to go to the a nearby hotel or something. So you take a moment to get over that way and you make sure she gets checked in. But which by that point, with all the walking and whatnot, she's finally starting to work out the
Maybe you could
the
grab
truth serum.
clothes or something from the hotel or from the apartment.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
either way, it's no problem.
But
And
when I start getting cognizant, I probably transform into what I normally do.
okay. So just what you look like before transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Neat.
And that is where we're going to stop for the night. So thank you all for playing. I had a great time. I am loving Komori.
Yes, I love her.
I think True Serum Komori is way more fun to play.
AKA Wombat.
I have a name. I have
I
a
love
secret
it.
identity now.
So we'll
Everyone's
too.
gonna be like, "You look nothing
You're
like
like-
a wombat."
I know,
Yeah.
we'll keep some of that on hand
Wombat.
then.
You're like,
That's the
no,
joke.
it's
Really?
woman bat.
She's really dumb. She doesn't know what a wombat is.
Yep. Take it easy, Davy Jones. Thanks for stopping by, man. So thank you all
Bye,
for
Davey.
stopping by and watching. We had a great time. We will be back in action again with Blood Ties next Saturday. So I hope you tune in for our special edition. It's going to be Happy Rex Manning Day. So we've got some plans for that. So looking forward to that one. So you guys have a good one, and we're going to go sign off for there. Take it easy. And we're out.